Futures extending declines here this morning as we await some initial jobless claims data due out here at 8:30 for last week. 227,000 versus 230,000, which was the consensus last week. 229,000. Continuing claims, bit of an uptick here though. 1.9 million versus 1.88 last week at this time. So keep that in mind. Coming up at 9:45, we'll get the S&P Global Composite PMI. Flash number for May, 50.4 is the forecast on that. Prior was 50.6. 10 o'clock, some existing home sales data coming through as well. As I mentioned, we are extending declines here. It's only 0.4%, but a little bit of a sell-off there as we headed into 8:30. All kinds of things moving around this morning. Snowflake, nice report up pretty decently here this morning. We'll touch on that coming up here. This Ford lawsuit is kind of interesting. Ford suing a law firm essentially for billing them 57 hours of legal fees in one day.
Oh, 57 hours.
57 hours in one day. Ford downside with the overall market. I mean, it's not going to affect the stock, but it was kind of a funny story. I was reading that this morning. Anyway, yeah. Coming off what happened yesterday, big day yesterday, lots of things flying around, including the overall market. We'll see if we get any follow through today to the downside, ending the session yesterday basically at the lows. 10-year 451. So that's happening. 30-year to the upside this morning, as well as the big, beautiful bill gets through the House.
Barely
by one vote.
One vote shy of a problem. But the Senate supposedly it's going to be a little bit better. In the Senate, they wanted wanted certain things in the bill. Looks like they may have gotten that. We'll have to wait and see how it does on the Senate floor. Lots to talk about today, Breno. Yet another all-time high overnight for Bitcoin, almost at 112,000, just shy of that. So we'll keep an eye out on that. As you mentioned, Snow reported, Zoom as well reported, well received initially, now down about 0.5%. And these health insurance providers, Brendo, with that whole UNH story, looks like they've raised the ire of the regulator. There's going to be active investigations going back to 2018 for overbilling. So we'll keep an eye out on that. They're all negative to start. And then Nike.
Yeah,
finding its way back to Amazon.
Yeah, interesting story. Huge move after the close yesterday for Nike. They're raising prices first off, and then, yeah, as you said, back on Amazon after multi-year departure from that platform. So we are green still, but heading southbound here in a hurry for Nike, still trying to hold that $60 area, which if you zoom out is pretty key. But we've been talking about the D2C type idea for the Nikes of the world being more and more important. So lots to consider here, guys. Good morning.
Well, it's not that good for the market.
No.
At least not right now. We've been bleeding until literally just now. The market's been bleeding the entire way through. Like, it's almost nothing is going to be green. That said, I was just looking at Coreweave here, which might challenge that $100 again. No, that said, there are some kernels of strength out there. We'll talk a lot about probably Bitcoin with that all-time high, still cruising. Snowflake, you saw last night, they had fantastic earnings and a great reaction to it. We have that NVTS that got a deal with Nvidia, and of course that's going to make it rally, more of a small capper in there. But you really have to squint, because that deal, like this bill has all of the solar names cratering. Sunrun in particular down 40% right now for solar. Enphase all getting smoked. You had the healthcare fallout as well. All the healthcare names were down in the aftermarket. This is putting pressure on. I mean, Tesla's down 2%. Nvidia was green, now it's red. So yeah, not a very good start to the morning unless you were holding shorts overnight. And it all started with that bond auction yesterday, because that was abject disaster for the markets. Markets were cruising higher, and then all of a sudden, it was kind of like the Bears came alive, like the Jays bats last night.
Yeah, it was thank you. I'm just kind of logging in here to maybe sell some snow.
And he even cleaned it off. The whole
Yeah, I saw him. I saw him in the
old school.
Yeah, I saw him previously. He was like getting that all figured out for us. Thanks, Randy, for cleaning all of that. Yeah, good short, Jay Lee, if you had that overnight. Yeah, welcome, everybody. 8:35. It's rainy here in lovely Toronto, Ontario, Canada. It's been raining for a couple of days. Hopefully it will stop pretty soon. Our baseballs will be rained out. Thanks, Randy, for that.
Yeah.
Tonight. Although,
well,
are plums supposed to be like rock hard? I don't know. It feels like
You can put this through a wall.
Tariff's been played on that one.
Fastball action.
Yeah, but that deficit now being adding to that deficit with this tax bill, I mean, we did see yesterday, no one even talks about that 20-year, and then all of a sudden it just rifles to the downside there. It's little prices getting near 5%, not going to be great for the market. And if you can yield 5% in the stock market, then, you know, potential, or in the treasuries, then, you know, that's going to take some money away from the market, right? If especially some of those stocks that are paying 3, 4, 5% yield, you know, you can now get it risk-free. So that came off yesterday, and it looks like right now the Nasdaq continues to look a little bit lower. I'm going to be short the TQQs definitely at some point here today. Waiting, we have PMI 945. What PMI is it exactly? It's industrial, I believe. Manufacturing. So S&P Global Manufacturing PMI 945, and services right after that, back to back. So, you know, again, PMI's been pretty good read. So if we do get a bump up due to that, I'm going to be looking more to get shorter. But yeah, look at crypto right now. I mean, we, you know, what a move, right? Even just to be up like 6 or 7% from when we bought it on Monday or Tuesday, pretty incredible. Sharif mentioned when we stepped in here today that we crossed through 12,000. On this is, I don't know why I'm looking at this on Bitstamp, but it got to almost 12. It got to 11.9, but at the end of the day, it's definitely making moves higher. And there it is, man. Nice rejection of 12,000, but then a great hold at 10. So yeah, we'll see, man. I mean, new all-time highs on Bitcoin happened right in front of our face yesterday, went overnight. Now it's going to go again, and I think we take that level one more time. So, you know, IBIT yesterday was a great trade at the end of the day. We definitely hammered that one. And yeah, I mean, to be able to hold overnight, I tried to hold a little bit into the aftermarket there, but we had this break right here, 61.20 yesterday afternoon, and that ripped and then rip. So nice move there. Congratulations to the Indiana Pacers. 3 times now they've come back with 7-point deficits in under a minute. It's only happened like 3 times in the history, and now they put 3 more this playoff. So
stats were absurd.
Maybe like, a team of destiny.
No team had ever had that lead. Specifically, it was like 14 points with however much time left in the playoffs, and it just never happened that comeback. But
Coreweave went to 114, by the way.
It did in the aftermarket. Well, Coreweave is an absolute beast, but we'll see how much strength it's going to be able to hold up today, for sure. Like an absolute, it was a rocket ship most of the day yesterday, and we're talking about this in the aftermarket show. No, well, in the afternoon as well. Like as strong as it was, there were, you know, you could make money short, but the better money obviously was to the long side. It's hard to be extremely bullish here today. But like if this starts trending again, you just want to be with the trend as opposed to against it. There is a small IPO today as well, so I think that's worth paying attention to. And just the other thing, I know a lot of people are going to be looking at that whole healthcare group. UNH has been a popular trade, but when you start having like why the healthcare names were gapped down was actually fundamental, right? That's why you see Humana down, CVS, that's all in the watch list. It'll be very key to see if the exuberant buying comes back into UNH, despite the fact that, you know, have some fundamental shift and kind of a headwind here for them right now. We talked about this. 280, a very important level if it gets tested today. 75 to 80, very important level for UNH. So far, actually not that bad. Like it didn't break through the overnight bottom. So, you know, things that don't break lows in a morning like this, kind of good. It didn't break the low.
Yeah, UNH, that whole sector, yeah, definitely getting hit to the downside. Still like XLV, my favorite in that space. So, yeah, good morning so far. It's 8:40. Google looks like it might be the one to look at here if you're going to try to go bullish at some point today, up 1.14%. So that kicking it off after their big I/O announcement 2 days ago, really received not well during the moment, but really taken well yesterday before fading out all afternoon. So we'll wait to see what happens with Google, but starting to go back to the upside right there, bouncing off 168 might be a level there to look for buys in Google. But see now the futures are doing this. So it's like I was just in the middle of putting down some short ideas. I still got them, obviously, but maybe it's not a short after all. We'll see. Now that we're past the bill, now we've got this Bitcoin starting to go upside here. Oil's been going downside, so That's sorry, Sharif? Right, yeah, exactly. So whenever you're getting increase in production, and then I don't think we're having a global recession or anything like that, which would obviously hurt oil, but you are coming back up to that 50-period moving average. We just talked about it last week on this move that oil had, and now it's fading right back down again. So yeah, I mean, it's GLD's on a 4-day win streak, so there's that happening as well. Back up to 305. Wow, good little dip by there at 290. 4 days up if we hold today, which we may not. But yeah, lots of stuff happening there. Like I said, it's a cold day around here. I did check out some of the boardrooms. They're getting ripped up around here right now.
There's a lot that got done.
Absolutely wild. The flooring's getting pulled up now. Studio 8 renovations are active.
They're coming through that wall today.
We have Satea coming through today for Adara, so that should be fun to get some news going on that, and we'll see how that all works out. So yeah, lots happening around here. I hope you guys are having a good start to your day, and the market's kind of flat, so I think we're all pretty happy, especially if you're a crypto holder. Did we ever get that poll up yesterday? How many viewers hold crypto?
I think we did. I just don't remember the results.
Do you remember what the results were? 50-50 or so? Andre can't remember. We'll get it all figured out.
Here it is.
Near around. Oh, it's still there.
Hold on a second.
What was it? Is it 50-50?
Boom. It was 53-47.
Oh, so no.
Sorry, 53 is no.
There we go.
Should have led with the yes there. But yeah, it's closer to 50-50. What's interesting is we did this, I don't know, 3 months ago? 4 months ago?
Yeah, maybe more.
Maybe it was like half a year ago. Less than a year, more than 4 months. And I think it was, 20 to 25%. Now, that could be two things. It could be some new people watching the show. Obviously, when Bitcoin's going, we get more people interested in watching live. So I don't wonder if you got to do it like a couple more times to get a better sense of it. Because that's a vastly different result than we got last time. Way different.
Desk.
Right, let's bring in Luis Barbado, our friend over in Barcelona, Spain, to touch on some small caps that have been running. Not only today, Luis, but the past couple of days, we've had a few of these that have been pretty exciting once again. So first of all, welcome. How are you?
Welcome. Thank you very much, Brendan. It's been very good this week. Very active, the small cap war.
Yeah, let's talk about this NVTS. I want to start with that one specifically because, yes, it is lower price, but this is not necessarily a small float type of stock. I mean, it's 40 million shares here trading on this NVTS. There's news with Nvidia, obviously. So again, I want to start with this specifically because you take away that short float type of concept and then you add in they're teaming up with Nvidia, and this may or may not trade the same.
Yeah, as you say, here the keyword is Nvidia. Any small cap, even mid cap, could be considered this one. Once you have some words in the news like Nvidia or Google partnership or something like that, the levels and the float and everything gets a little bit, relative important because the Nvidia word, it's a lot for these kind of companies. And we have a gap up, of course. It's trading pretty strong yet, so we are not going to short front side this stock for sure. While it holds the VWAP, it holds pretty nice the higher lows all the time. If it fails breaking the $6 round number, we might see some short probability there with a tight stop over the pre-market highs.
All right, let's go on. A ton of them to get through here. VIGL, another one up here, triple digits already this morning.
Yeah, but correct me if I'm wrong. This is some merger new, right?
You are correct. I just saw that as well.
So it doesn't matter how much it's going to go up. It shouldn't move if the merger is confirmed and is cash merger. So it's not a change from stock from the company who is buying VIGL. It shouldn't move a lot. So if you trade this stock, just look for 1-2 cents profit, a lot of rebates, a lot of volume, because it shouldn't move. If the merger is confirmed and is cash merger.
Yeah, if it's for anyone who's looking for these in the morning, it's a good point. If you don't see this moving around, that is absolutely why. BDRX, another one here on the list.
Yeah, we have this one on the list. It's trading pretty sharp up, but we have a nice resistance in 190, 195, something like that from previous days. As you check the chart, or our chart, 1 hour or something like that, you could see some resistance in 190. $2. You have a pretty big resistance there, and it has a 77% probability red close. So we are going to go short on this one if the market open is not very strong and it start to trade below the open and below the B1. We will look for sure for the fill gap below 170, 160, 150 even. It could go all the way down because of the red cross probability and the resistance overhead.
A few other smaller ones with much lower percentage moves here in the pre-market. Anything catching your eye specifically here, Luis?
Yeah, we are checking Milgo, MLGO. It's a Chinese company. It has a criminal record, we used to call it. If you check the chart, it's been 200, 300, 400% up some days. So with this kind of data, historical data, we might see a runner today. It has over 230, 250, could run up a lot. It's a Chinese, it's a very small float, as I want to remember. Let me check. It's, 20 million float. It's not that small, but it's Chinese. It's very, very volatile. When it gets crazy, we might see a nice short squeeze. And it's only around 60% red close probability. So it's very low comparing to the rest of the small cap. This is one we're looking at. And we're looking for KIDZ. This, if you check the chart, it's been a crazy movement up and then a lot of days going down and consolidating. It might see the first nice movement up today. If you compare to the chart, we try to always to look for similar charts in the past, and we have GPUS yesterday, which has very, very similar behavior, a crazy movement up, then a nice retracement for 5, 6, 7 days, and then we saw yesterday a very nice run up. So today we're looking for longs on this KADZ.
I want to get your opinion on this because we have a couple of IPOs today that are on the small float side of things. MTN is the first one. We didn't get much information on the company itself, but it's 8 million shares coming to market. They've obviously taken over another symbol here, but MNTN, and then the other one is HNGE, which is a little bit bigger, both coming to the NYSE today.
Yeah, if it's very, very small company like this MNTN, it's very tricky to trade because it can move very sharp. So your risk is not very tight sometimes. I recommend in this one I know it's a little bit more expert maybe level, but to check what's the underwriter, what's the big companies who is taking this into the stock market, what levels are they pushing and holding, so you can have some, let's say, safety levels to get out if you're wrong. Because otherwise, you check the level 2 when it opens, it's pretty much empty. So it's kind of dangerous.
Yeah, lots to consider with those specifically. Always great insight. Luis Barredo over in Barcelona, Spain. Good to see you as always. Thanks for doing that.
Thank you very much, Brendan. Say hi to Neil and Sean.
You just did, my friend. You just did.
Absolutely did, Luis. And always great to have him on here because small cappers, well, we even say this as I was about to say when we're having like a weekday, like sometimes the longs and finding a small capper is your way to go there. But the Nasdaq's about to go green. Who knew? But that NVTS, they're the ones with the Nvidia deal. Usually it's like, if it's trending down and it's underneath the volume weighted average price, you don't like it too much. But I think if we're patient enough here, a couple of things to remember. Remember in the aftermarket, like it started to pulled back. I made a nice bull flag here and shows you like 420 for support. So I don't want to completely key in on that, but if it's under the volume weighted average price, I think you wait for a test if you're looking for the longs down and around and into that 420 area. Always seems like that's a significant number on a small cap stock, whether it's 42 cents or $4.20. But yeah, that's where they pull back and wanted some support. So that'll be on watch for me today. It's done tremendous amounts of volume. What else does volume are things that get upgrades and downgrades, usually.
Hey, good morning, guys, and happy Thursday. Let's take a look at some of the upgrades and downgrades this morning. All right, last night we had Snowflake reporting exceeding that expected move, guys. That's a good look for Snowflake there. We got that price upgrade to a target of $245 there. TJX in the morning, guys, yesterday morning that is, now getting another upgrade, a price of $150. Urban Outfitters was after the bell as well too, guys, a price target raised to 72. And then Zoom as well reported after the bell yesterday, guys, a price target raise of $100 to $100, that is. And then now some downgrades here, guys. We got Viasat, price target downgrade to $16. Then BD down to $185 here as well too, guys. Brooker, a price target of $40 now, and Vigil down to $8 there, guys.
Yeah, I mean, Zoom was disappointing last night because they had that big guide, and it's on the watch list as well. And I guess when we were talking about it, we sort of said it tried to chew through this 85, which is obvious. I mean, that's obvious resistance. I don't know, like, look at the lower high. It had a local top at 85 anyways, and it tried to chew through. When it was a very good guide, you would think that it would have had that power, but it got sold off the second it was underneath. So I think that's the key price to look at, right? It told you that yesterday. It was already a big level on the daily. Like even in some market strength, you need to see buyers above the 85. Maybe you can get longs into it, but yeah, it seems like for now it's a wall. And that's the thing. Like you can like a guide, you can beat on top and bottom, you can have all kinds of good numbers. Sometimes maybe it's market sentiment, where the stock has come from. We've rebounded so far. So anybody that was dip buying this on all the tariff concerns, like they're laughing, and maybe a lot of swing traders will hold into earnings, and if it doesn't cleanly break, they take some profits. It seems like maybe that's what's going on here with Zoom, because you couldn't really complain with anything too much in the report.
Yeah, I was looking at, I mean, again, we'll talk about Snowflake, we'll talk about that report, but $200 right there, trying to take out the 200 period moving average. If we can get above 200, that's looking pretty good for Snowflake. I mean, we've seen a nice little bounce higher here in the name. I'm going to try to, I still have some shares. I'm going to try to get out here some at 200 if we're able to do that there today. It looks like we probably get bumped up to that level. But again, up to a nice support, 200 back in 2022. 200 again back here in 2024, and it looks like in 2025 we're getting the opportunity to sell it out right now at 200 again. So, you know, we're long somewhere down into here. We've been holding this for a while. We didn't take advantage of that, so we'll see if we can take advantage of this. So I'm going to get out of some Snowflake here today for sure. I'm offering 199.50 right now on Snowflake. So hopefully that comes in. Maybe that comes in immediately there. But yeah, we'll talk about that as we get through earnings. But yeah, there it is. The Nasdaq is now green. ES still a little bit red. And yeah, Bitcoin kind of just hovering. So there it is, man. Nasdaq right back up to where we need to be for a green start. I'm still looking to go short 69 if we can get that into there from the futures. I mean, they did bump a little bit higher. You know, we got as high as 69.75, but we'll start looking at it if and when we get up here, not down here. We're not looking short. I don't have a problem punching short near the end of the day. We talked about that yesterday. Look what this move was once we finally broke this level right there. And then the low of the day was right here. Bang, you went down another $1 and a change into the lows before rallying, and then we lost it, and there's the loss again. Look at that, but you need to have volume, right? So right there at 3 o'clock as we entered power hour, the short hit again, and then we rallied into the close and then fell again. So looks like the market's a little weak there. Obviously, they're taking that bond auction pretty seriously there as yields are starting to raise and making the stock market a little less attractive. But okay, Nasdaq back to green. That's real nice to see. We'll see if the banks got hit a little bit yesterday. We'll see if that can last there today. Google's probably flying. That's going to be a good long for us at some point there as well. So yeah, good days ahead, it feels like today in the market.
Not wrong.
No. Well,
we're just talking about this lawsuit. Rumble, day lows here, down 0.6%. This was late in the afternoon yesterday, but the judge that was overseeing this anti-competitive lawsuit that Rumble filed against Google has just said, go away, essentially, and thrown the entire thing out.
they're looking for $2 billion, Brendo, not chump change. And what they were accusing was Google, in their search results, were prioritizing YouTube videos ahead of Rumble's videos. Shocking. I mean, obviously, you got to prove that. And that requires, obviously, access to the algorithm or some way scientifically to prove that, Brendo. It looks like they didn't do that.
Yeah. Getting hit here a little bit this morning, worth keeping an eye out for. RUM. Sean, you were mentioning the banks. There was a note on Citigroup this morning, also downside here, but trying to bounce a little bit. Citi AI is going to require 150,000 employees. So a little bit of a hiring spree to boost their AI side of things for Citigroup back to the upside, but that was down significantly this morning.
Oh yeah, that's really interesting. Look, what I've been waiting for, Brando, is that deregulatory push that we're supposed to get from the Trump administration for these banks.
Yeah.
A lot of what was spoken about during the administration was, you were kind of being kept back with capital requirements as well as mark-to-market accounting. A lot of these Biden-era or regulatory headwinds that were kind of keeping some of these down. We're supposed to be waiting for the deregulation push to come in Q3 and Q4. We saw a lot of these bank CEOs join Donald Trump in his Middle Eastern escapades there. So we'll see how they do.
Trying to drum up some business maybe. Goldman Sachs as well. There was a note from them on their Asian unit. They were reorganizing, downsizing ever so slightly their Asian unit as well. So GS here, guys, still green to the tune of about 0.25%.
Yeah, well, the thing about the whole like red-green this morning is to remember how far we fell yesterday. So, some things are starting to come back a little bit here. It'll be a little bit deceiving because when it's that heavy, it's like how much more were you going to gap down overnight when you see something like that? XLF, however, the ETF, has broken this upward trend, although it did it a couple times before, and that ended up being a buying opportunity. And we'll see what happens today, but it's now under support and probably needs to settle down. So I think, I like XLF this year. It is one of the things that I want to be DCAing into, but now that it's broken the trend, I think I wait for the 50 period or 200 period test back in, or it can just find its own level at this point. But you're essentially in the first inning of the break of this trend, or I don't know, it's day 2 of the break of this trend. I don't know that I'm that interested in catching falling knives and things that are that close to the high. Let it settle down, make a bit of a level here. Clearly, yesterday was a really big shock to the market. So usually you want things to settle down. I don't want to be FOMOing into bounces. And the other way to think about what's happening with the banks is, just put the Nasdaq. I'll zoom this in. So this nice little bounce back into VWAP and still down. The Nasdaq though is pretty much getting right back into overnight highs. So you have some relative strength, or weakness, I should say, in the banking sector and the financial sector. So I'm not sure they've found their temporary bottom just yet.
Yeah, I've just been looking at JP Morgan for a minute. We almost got back to all-time highs there. We probably should have trimmed some there at 268, 270. Big mistake there. The next time we get up to 265, we will sell some of our position. We're still long at 230, so hopefully that will wind up holding somewhere there. But yeah, you saw the movement from yesterday. The whole market really started to come back in, right? And so I think if anything right now, if we're going to day trade, the banks are probably a short. No volume there today, but the market just turned green. Banks still red. The Citigroup name, the Citigroup mentioned there by Brendan is pretty interesting because, again, cutting some weight there, still downside play. Generally speaking, if you're going to cut some employees, we've seen year of efficiency and whatnot, but yeah, at Citigroup. And Citigroup's been a good stock as well, right? They didn't get as close to their all-time highs as JP did, but you got a nice rally from that bottom. I keep hearing about Citigroup being one of the better banks to look at. Yesterday, though, what new finance? We have that Hinge coming today, which is a healthcare name, like a new name trying to change that space. Well, Robinhood, instead of investing in JP or anything like that, Robinhood is at its all-time high. And I don't think it's all-time high. It's the most recent high right there. But let me double check that actually, because Robinhood must have been a lot higher during its pandemic, right? Hold on a second. Let me just go to a weekly chart here for Robinhood just to see. No, that is okay. Yeah, no, that's right. So I was going to say, forget about that little. Look, its all-time high is going to be up there, but yeah, you're still breaking. That break right there of 60 was really the key thing, it looks like. Maybe that's going to be a good holding spot there for Robinhood. But yeah, let's just consider this a break higher. $67, right? If that's the high right there, it's almost $67 to the right there, almost to the penny. That goes all the way back to February of 25. So yeah, it looks like Robinhood, although not technically at its all-time highs, we're getting near high enough for us, right? So $67, a great break there for Robinhood if that ever happens. Looking back at all of that, SoFi, Robinhood. I know SoFi is a bank, Robinhood not, but this name is really, really working to the high side there, which makes me think that maybe we do get, where's my bull? Oh, I don't have Stream Deck open. I'll get it open. But maybe we get a bull run coming on Webull soon, because like at some point maybe they catch a little bit of that. Yeah, there it goes. Some bullish action there on Webull. I always want to watch out for this. 300,000 shares in the morning. You know, better volume than many. So yeah, Webull could have a good opportunity here at 1250, especially if this market holds. Good bottom there from yesterday. So there we go, man. Talk about some big banks. Talk about some middle of the road and some new tech like Robinhood and SoFi. And then we'll go over to a recent list in Webull. We won't talk about eToro. We don't really trade that, as the spread is like 50 cents and the volume's not the greatest. But yeah, look, Bitcoin holding up, man. 11,600 right now, still holding on BTC. I'll have it up here all night. IBIT, I'm guessing, is going to be up from yesterday, obviously. There goes IBIT up another 3%, man. Amazing. So just what a great move up here. I don't plan on selling. In fact, I've been buying more. Google 172. People are talking. I thought it was not a mistake, but I was like, oh God, I got filled at 103. But still not bad at all. And then Cardano's moving. Ethereum's back to 26.5 or so as well. So that's had a nice little run up. Look what Google's been doing this AM. Look at this stock here on Google. It's like, huh? Like literally stairway to heaven right there. Like it's just like do, like, you know, little bit of a platform right there and then a rip again. So we'll wait to see what happens with Google taking out all these levels right now that we're above 170. It's good to go. As Chappelle Roan would say, we are hot to go right now. But all right, 172, if you can't tell, daughter, dad, so, and my wife, Sharif.
You're a GOG, Sean. 58.60, guys. That's where we closed out yesterday on the ES June contract. We're kind of right there right now, 58.64. So here's the deal. We're going to use the overnight low as the area of support, which is 58.28. As resistance, we're going to have to clear that 5,900 area before we can even talk about 6,000 again, Brendo.
Yeah, pretty impressive move, to say the least. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you take a second. Free stuff for you down in the description. Top link will get you to the sign-up page. All you need is your email address, and then you get the watch list for free every single day as everything moving around in the pre-market on it and why. Then you come join us at 8:30, and we take you through all the important movers of the morning, including IBIT, crypto, right across the board, just absolutely monstrous yesterday. Obviously, all-time highs for Bitcoin in the afternoon. We get an extension of that late in the day. 2.6% here so far for IBIT. The Trump administration, as people saw there, trying to get even Jamie Dimon on side for this Bitcoin rally.
He's not as averse to Bitcoin as he once was, Brendo. Slowly starting to, you know,
Come
going
around
the dark side. Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's talk about what happened here. Bitcoin surged to an intraday high of $111,886, Joseph. Very close to that 112 area, making fresh records for the world's largest cryptocurrency. The rally was partly driven by Moody's downgrade of that U.S. sovereign credit, adding to Bitcoin's appeal as a hedge against that fiat risk. Also, the Genius Act for stablecoin regulation passed a key procedural vote in the U.S. Senate, boosting regulatory clarity. More on that, Brendo, tonight. There's going to be a dinner on stablecoin regulation. Also, ongoing pro-crypto push from, obviously, you guessed it, Donald Trump and advisor David Sachs support the sentiment. And there's been also an institutional shift in how they look at Bitcoin. You just mentioned there with Jamie Dimon, JP Morgan, obviously historically skeptical, now enabling Bitcoin purchases for clients, a major credibility boost. And last but not least, this is the part that I like the most, the decorrelation from stocks. If I want to buy the Qs, Brendo, I'll buy the Qs. I don't want to buy Bitcoin for it to move with the Nasdaq. So this suggests investors' view of BTC as an alternative store of value decoupled from traditional asset risk.
Clearly, the market need not a reason. That makes sense. I don't know.
No.
Highs right now, guys, for IBIT.
Well, this market doesn't need a reason, except they like it, and you can only have so much of it, and that makes it scarce relative to actual real money, which is not scarce at all because they just keep making more and more and more. Okay, the next step here, ideally, the next step in the pattern, we go every time we talk about Bitcoin, show the same thing on the daily chart for good reason because it's held it so well, and now that you've broken through the all-time high, I mean, when we did this before, we actually had the wick top when we did that breakthrough. Sorry, this breakthrough here, it held cleanly, and then the next level up ended up being like a kind of a wick top test. But that was a blue sky setup. It's looking like this is the break of the consolidative top here. And we held above and then absolutely ramped within a couple of days when we did that off 73. Now, granted, that was a different level. We held up there a little bit longer, but looking for that same thing, I think you want to buy dips out in front of the prior high, which is at 109. So anything in front of the 9 level, the 10 level for IBIT, prior day highs, looking at 62.3 to 62.5 on any kind of a dip. Want to play trend as long as we're going to hold that top, respecting the technical pattern that's just shown on the daily chart. So as long as we're above the prior all-time high, then I want to be buying dips into it. Of course, if you lose it, I think you could see something like that move in there would make some sense. But for today, buying into the prior all-time high.
Yeah, I really, I'm just checking out my IBIT positions here. Yeah, look, it's pretty good as we watch out to see what's what's been happening here with the market. ETHE also, I mean, we always talk about Bitcoin, but Ethereum as well, starting to get back to, I mean, look, Ethereum has a long way to go before we get anywhere near the highs, and I don't think possibly never see those again. But, we're trying to break through right here, $24. At this top for ETHE, right? So that would be, again, like sparking another break, which possibly gets us up here. I mean, it's not going to have the scarcity that Bitcoin will have, but, smart contracts is much different than Bitcoin. And so we'll wait to see if that wants to work. I'm obviously in Cardano, much heavier than Ethereum, like way heavier. So we'll wait to see what winds up happening with all of that space. But Bitcoin is the #1 holding in the space and just continues to work out, man. We talked about the highest market cap for the whole space, at least on CoinGecko that I've seen, is 352. And right here, we wake up to 363 right there. So big time movements all aboard, everything to do with crypto right now. As we can see there's Bitcoin 4.5% today, Ethereum 4.5%. This is this last 24 hours. Binance Coin continues to hold out as well. There's XRP. We just added to that at 230. So we're at 2 and 230, average price around 212 or something. Solana up another 5.5%, which is really nice. Dogecoin up 6. Cardano, let's call this 7. Let's round up, right? Why not do that? Dogecoin up 7. Cardano up 7. So it's been a really good little run. And there it is, man. The highest I've ever seen this, which makes sense. 3.6 right there on the market cap for the whole space, right? With 2.2 of it landing in Bitcoin. So, hey, man, proof of concept. Don't need any of that anymore right now. Bitcoin definitely has found its way, and we keep going long on Bitcoin. Me and this guy were talking about mining Bitcoin like 7 years ago. You want me to take one of those, or? Yes, thank you, Randy.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, we should have done that. We should have set up the rig. What's going on with the internet over there? It's not working on that TV, or the one that Sharif always watches over there? Oh, I got tariffed. Yeah. Too much tariff on that one.
What happened to Circle?
Okay, so snow pops right now. Let's go talk a little bit about some Snowflake. It seems like it's snowing outside these days.
Yeah.
Not so much right now, but yeah, I mean, overall, up 9% coming off this report after the close yesterday. It was really, there was a head fake downside, and then it was just all upside to $200 here for Snowflake.
This was a good report, Brendo. This was a really good report. So the adjusted EPS here handily beat what the street was looking for. 24 pennies, the street wanted 20. Revenue, 1.04. The street was looking for 1. That's a 26% bump, by the way, guys, year-over-year revenue, marking the first $1 billion quarter they've ever had. Their core business strength here comes from their product revenue, which is in compute, storage, and transfer. They printed higher than expectations there. Again, $996.8 million. The street was looking for $962. And there's continued enterprise demand, obviously driven by AI. Surprise, surprise there. Their guide was also good here. The Q2 product revenue guidance guiding 1.035 to 1.04. The street was looking for 1.02, so the range ahead of the expectations. Also, full year product revenue, 4.33 to 4.28. No comparable there, so I can't tell you if it was a beat or a miss. And the macro context here is Enterprise AI investment remains very strong across the board. And we also saw similar beats from ServiceNow, SAP, Monday.com, Microsoft. Despite the macro uncertainty, Brendo, these data platforms seem to be doing well.
If you zoom out on a chart, two things to know here. If you zoom out on a chart, that huge gap down going all the way back to spring of 2024, we're clearing that, which was also resistance earlier on this year. I was thinking volume's kind of weak here this morning for Snowflake, but it's actually close to 3 on a relative volume scale, guys, for Snow.
Yeah, like it doesn't do a lot of pre-market volume in a general sense. It's not the highest volume stock out there. Like I don't think we don't look at Snowflake outside of earnings and maybe other special occasions, but really, like, oh my goodness, like there are 2 red candles in there, and one of them we were saying is a pretty bullish red candle, and that's going back from April 22nd. It's been an absolute tear. This is the second time that it's round tripped that 120 into 190, and I wish I'd played it twice. I only played it once. As long as you hold a prior high, like this, look, it's as bullish as it gets, right? So first thought is, as long as you hold a prior resistance, that's where you look for support to come in. That's like 192.5. And for a stock like this, it's at 195. That's easily testable, like super early. That's where it went to in the aftermarket show when we were talking about it. That's where that's kind of where we crested out, the obvious level on the daily chart. So that's the one spot that I'd be looking at the open. But there's a lot to watch. We haven't even got to the chips yet. Tesla in play, of course, as well. Yeah, and with iBid in there, I don't know this is the first place I'll look, but as long as it's above 192.5, I'd only be playing long.
Yeah, look, I was talking about the long term. I have an offer at 199.50 to get out of almost all of my Snowflake. Just whatever, have a little bit of it, but great report, taking out the highs. I mean, you really like everything that it's doing right now. We like big data, and obviously I've been supporting Palantir for a long time. We bought Snowflake a long time ago, kind of with Palantir, and it's been it hasn't been a Palantir, but it's been great. Snowflake, look at the daily chart. I mean, if you're not taking something off after a report, when you get a move like this, I mean, well extended, well off the 200, well off the 50-period moving average, and I already zoomed back out, and we showed you sort of that 200 had been an interesting level for a couple minutes, right? And so obviously we blast up to 240, and if you're going to wait for 240, great. I mean, maybe that's coming. You never know. But right here, I'm just looking at all these levels, and if we just draw a little simple line here at 2 bills, then it makes sense to say, hey, maybe there is some kind of resistance up here. In its history since 2022, right there, so the last 3 years, we spent a handful of days above this level, and we may spend a day above it and hold it today. But I'm going to get some out if we're lucky enough to get close to $200 again. I like Snowflake. Let's take advantage of this. I don't necessarily think the market has upside from here, the general market. And look, there's lots of upside, but there's also some downside. So let's just take advantage of this 9% move. I think the expected move was around 7 or 8. So it's a good move. It probably continues. I'm waiting at 200 to empty sort of the clip here on Snowflake and be done with it. And then for a day trade, though, a break of 200 looks great. So if we can break 200, maybe you get 203, 204. So we'll wait to see if that winds up happening. But for now, in the long-term portfolio, I am a seller of Snowflake. I hope I did not miss the top.
Let's go to semiconductors. Big day for this group. Big couple of days, actually, for this group over the past few here. Nvidia, I just went out to a daily chart. If I zoom in here, you can see this reversal candle that happened yesterday. A really, really big wick. We had wild volatility all day long in some of the semiconductors coming off. Not only this China, is it a thing? Is it not a thing still? No one really knows, I think.
It's a little confusing, Brendo, because we got different reports last week about the removal of the AI diffusion laws from the Biden era administration, and then we get, a reaffirmation that there will be export controls on China, which is a big market for these chip companies. So let's talk about it. KeyBank today dropping an interesting headline here, basically saying there is near-term upside for the chip players. It made headway here, as I just mentioned, China AI chip export restrictions, and they're estimating possible total revenue loss, guys, at around $14 billion, obviously tied to the block chips. The H20, they had to take a big I'm talking about Nvidia, $5.5 billion charge that they won't be able to send there. Apparently, They are in the midst, though, of developing a new type of China-specific chip. It goes by I guess the acronym GDDR7. It's based on their RTX 6000 model, and they're targeting about 1 million units at about $8,000 a pop, which equates to about $8 billion, offsetting that $14 billion that they were going to lose. So let's see what they're able to make up for here, Brendo. Before the chip restrictions came in, we knew that it was about 20% of their market. It could be obviously a bit more with AI coming to the fore.
Yeah, Wedbush, nice bounce right now. It's about 0.5%. Wedbush with a note on Nvidia specifically this morning, and it's not Dan Ives. It's a guy named Matt Bryson, whoever that is. Okay. Reiterating a strong buy for Nvidia. Their price target 175 though.
I like that.
Well, I'll
price
take
target.
175.
I like that price target.
Down with that. We ain't getting that today, but certainly in the near term. That's the thing. Like when they give that price target, we talk 12 months, talking 6 months. Let's figure that. Let's just assume they're talking about a year. I'd be happy with that in a year on Nvidia. Well, it's back to where we started in the pre-market. So in the watch list, it's at 0.5%, and then it went down 0.5%.
Yep.
And now we're up 0.5%. And as long as we're underneath, like the first, when we had that move yesterday in the evening or the afternoon, the auction caused the move to the downside, you're going to see some supply zones that really stepped in, like 134 and 133, like that price area here. Like certainly it's the entire like $1.50 where you really chopped up before making another low. But if you look at the resistance at those levels, you're essentially talking like first stop just above 33, and then the 134 is a hard stop. So I'm thinking that's the zone that I'd be a seller into. Like the market's getting pretty euphoric. Like the chip curves don't go, and we get that reversal with the auction yesterday. It's hard to imagine that after failing to break out of this channel yesterday, losing the top, that the support areas don't come into resistance. So it's right into that 134, but I think you got to let it break 133 a bit into that 134, looking for the curl in Nvidia. The other thing I'll be watching again today, Coreweave is just, it's been on. There's no other time to talk about Coreweave except for when we talk about Nvidia. It makes a lot of sense too as well. But it had, like the rally's been insane. It has yet to have a red candle since breaking out, or before breaking out of its pre-IPO, like that IPO high that we just saw. Well, I see where it caught the bid after that bond auction. It's just above $100, but I kind of wrote down 100 for myself, that if it loses 100, watch out below on Coreweave. For now, it's obviously in an uptrend, and the only way to play this short was to play like reversion breaks. Well, essentially along the lines of, like I waited, like you wait for like that one, we're connected with the initial dip buys at the open to this level, and then it also ended up holding on to like another trend going from this single red candle at 10 o'clock. It held on to that trend line. So if I see any long-ranging trend lines, that's one way to short it. Otherwise, I wait for 100.
Yeah, I have it written down here on the sticky note as the #1 trade idea for me, but it's already at that level right now, 132.50. So I just talked about, we're tightening those chip controls. You have earnings next week. I don't have a great feeling for their earnings because I feel like they're going to possibly guide lower, or at least maybe not guide too much at all and talk about those tariffs. I mean, it's going to be hard for them to figure it all out when we are going back and forth about what can China buy, what can't China buy, so on and so forth. So for me, and a little bit of an explanation here about what we're talking about there on the AI diffusion rule. But, it just touched the level that we should be short. So, again, we write down that note when we're writing it down. It's down here at 131.50. So I'm thinking if we get back up into this area, we would like to short it. So, yeah, it's on my radar for a short immediately. But, now that we're here, maybe we don't. We can hold off and wait to see what sort of reaction we get. Now I'd like to see a breakthrough 132. This is the VWAP right here down at 132. So a break down below that. Maybe you take that initial break and use this as our stopping point here today, 133. But no, it's more aggressive than the market. The market just turned green. This is hella green. The stair step up is kind of similar to Google there. But yeah, I don't know. If the market goes, we can clearly see Nvidia wants to go. If the market fades out, we see what Nvidia wants to do. I mean, yesterday, this is what happened on the bond auction and that worry about China-U.S. relations on the chips. And then, you had a huge move down. We were at 137.50 yesterday. We closed out at 130. No, that low is 130.70. We closed out at 131 and change. You know, so we were down $6 yesterday. So we can wait and be patient for Nvidia today. I think that's our best plan of action right now. So Nvidia, hands off right now because it's already at the level that I liked to short. So I didn't think that that aggressive move was happening in the futures like it just did. Talk about Google going upside. I should have just said, look at the futures. I mean, that's what wound up going. Now is Google pulling back? Do we have Google on there? No, but it doesn't matter. So Google there, stair-stepping up and now coming back in with the market as well. So, hey, man, all these names seem to just be following one thing, the Nasdaq right now. So we'll wait to see what happens. Remember, we got PMI manufacturing coming out and services at 9:45. That could be something else that tips the scales slightly. All right, chips on watch. Now let's go over to talk about some Urban Outfitters.
Yeah, day highs right now, 20% on URBN. I mean, long story short, it was a beat right across the board. There's a couple of positive analyst moves. They even made a China comment saying that they don't see it affect, or not China specifically, but tariffs in general, saying they don't see it affecting things negatively.
It's a good look for them. Yeah, a lot of stuff made over there. All right, let's talk about what they did here, guys. Q1 net sales, 1.33 billion, beating the 1.29 billion the street was looking for. Their sales were driven by strong demand despite the consumer slowdown that we've been seeing in some of their areas. JP Morgan liking them so much, giving them the nod here to an overweight rating. I'll get that for you there. To an overweight rating from neutral, raising the price target up to 78 from 63. Which is basically a 30.8% upside. The brokerage sees here what they say long-term growth potential, expecting regular price and selling occupancy leverage, while the retailer's clothing rental service Newly continues to grow profitably. Yeah, remember that during COVID? You could borrow dresses and stuff like that. Like, I never really got into that. I don't know.
Borrowing dresses?
No, or clothing in general. I mean,
I'm kidding. Obviously, I'm kidding.
Hey, don't judge there, Neil. Don't be judging, Neil.
I do not remember that, but I'm sure it was the thing. If you zoom out, guys, it's worth noting we are well above any kind of levels here for URBN.
I'm not judging anybody. It's just weird on many levels.
Well, what people do in their own free time is what they do.
I'm just saying, but like even I'm gonna borrow someone's clothes. I'm gonna borrow someone's clothes, yo. Like, I mean, whatever. Like, don't get me wrong. Let's just move on before. We were talking about this last night. Like, there's stocks that have short floats that look like stocks that should have short floats. Like FSLR, right? If I tell you First Solar has a big short float on it, you're like, you look at the daily chart, it's like bleeding. Yeah, of course. Like, the hedgies are just killing themselves to be crushing that bad boy. But Urban Outfitters is distinctly different. Like, that's been upward trending for the last couple of years now, and it looks really good. So, yeah, has it gone too? It feels like it's a little bit much and it's gone too far, but it seems like this is actually a bit of a squeeze stock currently. I think it's too much of a chase, so I'm not touching it here today. There's so many big cap tech themes that are moving around on good volume. This has done 180,000 in the pre-market. I think it's one you definitely want to settle down. It's certainly pretty far gone here, but yeah, it's a squeeze stock at this point, Urban Outfitters, and the shorts are getting rinsed on it.
Yeah, look, yesterday we had Target. I mean, not a great report. We fell down yesterday from Target, lowering guidance and whatnot. You could see them just about to break sort of this bottom right there at $89, $90. So some of the retail space has been really hit pretty good there. And it looks like today is not going to be, this is not going to be held out very well either. So, if you looked at yesterday's chart for Target, you see go at 98. We open up the day down all the way down at 90 again, but we held that level, bumping back up to 95. This has kind of been the reaction where it's an overplay and then it corrects itself. But on a day two play for Target, I mean, watch out for this 90 to 60 to break. This is an earning missed and lower guidance. So yesterday, not a great move there for Target as some of the tariff worries hit the retail space again. So I would look at that name. If you look at this as opposed to Walmart, obviously they're going in complete opposite directions. All I know is that everybody around here, we have tons of Walmarts in Canada and no Target. So everybody always wants to go to Target every time we visit the United States. But you could see Walmart and Target almost complete opposite names here. One one continues to, that's the split. That's right. Our charts won't show that. One continues to outperform the other. And I think if you're looking for relative strength versus weakness, maybe you pick up some Target if you think that the market's going to bounce back. But I would still say stay with Costco, Walmart, and Amazon as your 3 retail plays. Look, you're looking for big moves like Urban Outfitters or Gap or, another hot one, Abercrombie has been pretty hot over the last little while, now coming back in. Like how the mighty have fallen, right? Remember, I think it was, was it all last year? What was the year where A and F?
Was it 2 years ago?
Here we go.
It might have been.
It's going to be starting up here. Yeah, 2023. Wow. So look at the year that Abercrombie had in 2023. So we started in April of 23 at $23, right? By the time February came, we're at 150. Then a year later, May, we were 190. So we went from $25 to $190 in 1 year on ANF, and now this is happening again. So look, man, these feel like casino names, meaning like you just take a shot at them and see what winds up happening. But until we get it to figure it out, man, I'd rather just stay in the solid retail names. XRT, if I am not mistaken. Yes, sometimes my memory is aight. This again, if you want to get some sort of access to the retail sector, why not get some XRT in your life? But okay, one more, man. A couple IPOs to go with only 4 minutes left. Let's go.
Yeah, we were just reading about this MNTN Incorporated. So we get 2. We get MNTN, which is also the ticker. We also get Hinge. MNTN is actually backed by Ryan Reynolds. So it's a connected TV platform and marketing business, it sounds like. Again, backed by Ryan Reynolds. That's basically all you need to know. And then Hinge on the health side.
Yeah, Hinge here, Brendo, looking at $32 a share, the IPO. That's the top end of the range. They're raising about $273 million. The shares that are going to be sold by the company, 8.52 million, with 13.7 million total, including existing shareholders. It's going to trade under ticker symbol HNGE under the NYSE. The valuation of the IPO is about $2.6 billion, down though from that $6.2 billion private valuation that they had in 2021. Details about the company: it was founded in 2014. It offers remote digital physical therapy solutions for chronic pain, injuries, and post-op recovery. The co-founders, Daniel Perez and Gabrielle Mecklenburg, built Hinge from personal rehab experience and is backed by major VCs, Brendo, like Tiger Global and Cotu.
So not one, but 2 IPOs on a Thursday. MNTN, HNGE, both coming to the NYSE today, guys.
Sure, and you can track these if you have access to your imbalance locator. You can track the indicated opens on both those. MNTN, there's already data for it, like slight buy imbalance, 16 issue. 16 is the current theoretical auction price, and Hinge as well, slight buy imbalance, and then $32 for that price. So if you have access to an imbalance locator, you can sort of see leading up to the open, because they won't open. I mean, watch, the one time I say they won't open at 9:30 because IPOs don't, like somehow one of them will finally do it, but they don't. 11 o'clock, sometimes before then, the bigger ones, sometimes after lunch. But one good way to track that is to look at your locator. Speaking of the locator, the only thing over 1 million shares here is Wolf, which is, it's back up over $1 now, but 1.7 million to the sell side. Remember, they're supposed to be going bankrupt. I don't know if there was official announcement on that just yet, but that was the speculation for Wolf. And no big names. Well, sometimes at 9:28, you will see some of the bigger boys pop in here. We're just going to leave it for a split second in hopes that it will. Really nothing coming in on the Nasdaq at 28, and no big market spikes either. So really just TeraWolf and the IPOs to watch. And I don't know if they're not big enough that I want to be trading it for that market on open kind of idea that you do with like Coreweave or something like that. But as we go, it's like some of that bounce that we just put in there starting to abate a little bit. Yeah, I was looking over 133 into 134 short on Nvidia. IBIT or Bitcoin is still holding above 111, 111.4 as a matter of fact. Like this, if there's a dip in IBIT, as long as it holds the prior high, like that's the big deal. And if it starts flushing, you want to play the reversion. It's got a pretty decent trend on it that could break right at the open. So I want to be patient on dip buys today, right? Like we've now come a couple hundred points from the bottoms on the NQ. So if there is a dip and you like something long, I'm feeling a little bit too bearish after yesterday to begin there early.
All right, all good. We'll just continue to, wait to see. I mean, the market had a huge move up there, really. 945, we're getting PMI. That should be interesting. My first look is going to be at the TQQs. We wrote down on our sticky note. You can go find it if you're looking for some ideas. Anyways, I got to get this adjusted, man. Our subscriber count is ripping. So you guys got to definitely hit the like, hit the subscribe, man. We are ripping right now on that one. That's bullish on Trader TV Live. Go get your TTVL coin. Just joking, not out yet. All right, so there it is. One, maybe never out. I mean, I like to have a Trader TV coin, right? 132.50 for Nvidia coming in. TQ 69 short. Big Bear AI. We didn't get a chance to look at that one. That's going to be another name for myself as well. So we're getting ready for Joe to hit on the bell right there. But 350 for Big Bear AI. Satya could do it. Yeah, Satya, why don't you do the bell? Go. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Where's the hammer though? We got it. Doesn't.
Just give it a fist bump.
There
In
two and one. There it is. Yes. Yeah, you're good. Oh, okay. Little smack that right there. Satya gonna be filling in for Adaro. We want to thank her. Obviously, you'll be seeing more and more of her as breaking news. I'm sure will be something that we all look forward to.
News moving the markets?
Yeah. Lately,
yeah, news doesn't move these markets.
Treasury auctions, bond.
Oh, goodness.
No, okay, so BBAI not doing anything, so what a surprise right there. Let's just head off of that for a minute and go over to something that may be Rip City right now. What the hell? Palantir gapping up $1 as well. What's Nvidia doing?
Nvidia just went right back to the highs. Oh, yeah, Tesla. Tesla. Yada, 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 trending down and then caught the bid. Watch out for about 340. Like all those supply zones from the afternoon that we had, I'd like to see, let's see what happens when you get back there. Are the sellers or the buyers really that exuberant that they can take us through some of those resistance levels? So Nvidia going up, IBIT's already headed back into the upside, and Coreweave is weaving its way back to fresh highs. Because you know what? Coreweave has made an all-time high break every single day for the last, about a million days. I don't want to take a break. I'm not taking a breakout. I'm not a little too bearish on it today. I want to be proven that we're trending to the upside off the open. So it looks like the first thing that could happen is Nvidia could break that 33 and get into the 34 level for the fade. But as we said, got to be patient here because look how strong this market's starting to come back.
So good shout out to our friend Jeff Mendel. Fannie Mae up 30% today. Trump tweeted yesterday.
That was more than that.
Nah. Trump, it's coming back in. Trump tweeted yesterday that maybe it's time to bring these guys back. So we'll see what happens with Fannie Mae there today if you're into those kind of things. The pink sheets today trying to get going there. So we'll wait to see where those fills come from. You can go over there and look at that. Thank you to Jeff for that. 133 right there looked like a top for Nvidia. Look, we were going to wait for that level to print out for us, and it looks like it did. We may have just sort of got a top right there temporarily anyways. The SPY moving around. Nasdaq trying to get back up to its highs, now at 0.2 right now. Just watching out for this. It looks like it wants to get pretty aggressive, man. So, in a play of aggression right here for Nvidia. Watch out for 133 breaking higher. We still have that PMI coming out, so that could be something to look at as well. There goes the TQs right up to 69. I'm going to try the short again, 69. If we break higher, forget about it. 68.85 right now on that. And then I was trying to look at Apple short, actually, and we'll see where that winds up going as well. But right now, Apple back up to 202, 203 is a level of interest for me there on Apple.
Even some of the healthcare is bouncing here.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some good opportunities today for sure in this space.
Like HIMS just bounced. UNH is bouncing here as well. I wasn't really thinking those ones for the long side. IBIT, did we just break the high? No, not quite.
No.
So IBIT, I didn't take the all-time high break yesterday, but did take a dip buy off a failed break. So right now, if it takes it's not really pre-market high, it's a 24-hour market, but you get the idea. If we take out this local pre-market high, I'd be looking to play a bounce, like a fade, off of wherever it can, let it fail that top, come back at either VWAP or one of the prior lows. So still playing a little bit of patience game here, as Nvidia doesn't break 133 after all. See, I was like, oh, we're breaking 133. The market's going to take this to the 134, and then we can short it up there.
What a level on the T.
No, we're just turning on an absolute dime. So that's not going to come in for me on the short side. Coreweave not going to be in play at our prices. What about AMD? AMD never even broke toward the high. That's still relatively weak. But yeah, resistance is so far away on that stock as well.
All right, I'm starting the party up right here. I'm going to go short on the TQs, man. We just made a mistake because we should have got short up there. It was close enough to our 69 level, but let's see now if we want to break a little bit lower here on the TQQs. I'm going to put a bid out here at 86. We'll take that, Phil. We're short now 97. Let's see how low we can go right now on the TQQs. So a good little trade here. Wow, okay, good little trade, good, decent trade right now. There we go, taking out 80s. Let's get lower and lower and lower as the futures are starting to come down, man. We wanted the short. We talked about the short. We're short. So, I mean, what else do we want to do? That's the TQQs. Nvidia was another short that we were looking for as well today, and that was 132.50. So it's bouncing around, giving us a 133 high. So maybe Nvidia is that trade that, wow, there he goes, Neil. Those TQQs are really starting to go now. So that's going to be a good trade to the downside as we short the futures. And right there it is. Quick as you like, Sharif. Right there for my guy over there. A nice little 25-cent win right there on the TQs. And there goes the futures breaking back below VWAP. Man, we're reading the market pretty well. The futures, nice downside play there. Just missed out on Nvidia. I mean, that should be $1, but it only went to 133. So be careful with that one. Playing off some of these tops might be okay, 132.75 or so, but missed that trade. But we have the TQs. Happy with that. Starting to go lower right now.
Yeah, get it down. But okay, I'm looking at Coreweave. Coreweave's about to maybe test that pre-market low in here. If we're not going to get that fail break and obvious reversion, I'm going to play for either a VWAP trend down. Remember, Coreweave is one of the strongest stocks out there, but if this market's finally going to put in a red day, I think this one has it kind of coming due, and it's a high-profile stock, and has been. There's not a single red candle on the daily chart on this stock, so I want to be there on the first day. We took it a couple times on the short side. It's going to try to battle VWAP in here, but the other thing I got to watch out for is Nvidia's going up when the market's coming down here, and Coreweave has a tendency to lead Nvidia, but if Nvidia breaks highs, Coreweave breaks highs. So if this is breaking out, I'm not going to take the VWAP short on Coreweave. I'll wait for Nvidia 134. I don't want to get too far away from the plan because look at this nice bounce here. In NVDA. Yeah, it's looking like it's starting to rip there, so that might have to, Coreweave might have to wait until we slow down. I am on the bid in front of 62.5, but we haven't even broken 63. So unless that really falls, I don't think that one's going to come in anytime soon. So my eyeballs right now are NVIDIA 134 and Coreweave here because I can find myself short both of them. Oh, there goes 133 downside again. I got to get short.
Yeah, I'm
133 just held twice on Nvidia.
Yeah.
I was on the Coreweave chart when that happened, but trust me, it did.
Yeah. No, I'm watching. I'm short right now. 132.80 right here. So nice little play downside now for Nvidia. So let's wait to see what winds up happening there. We got that short. The TQs went all the way, and again, it's just so violent. Like I was waiting again upside near 69, and it just gets to the 50-period moving average, then falls back in again for us right now. So good trading for sure right here on the market. We just got to make sure that hey, the market wants to go right. I mean. I don't know. I'm trying to wait and be a little bit more patient for all of these plays. Is there anything else moving around, I wonder? Big Bear AI. Okay, so 11,000 right now. So actually, crypto's coming back in right now. Good trade on Nvidia, man. Now 50 cents in the money on that one. We tried a little bit of an early push to get short early and then got stopped out at 133. So we're just making some back now on Nvidia as it's coming back in pretty nicely right here to that downside for NVDA. So there it goes again. Fannie Mae back down to, we haven't done anything with that. I'm still watching it. It's still $10 right now. So up to 11 pre-market, back down into 10. We're watching out for that one. So I'm still short. That's Big Bear AI. I'm still short Nvidia. I'm still short the TQQs. And then watching to see Apple as well. I think that's going to be a short at some point. But right now, market flat on the day. Some of these names starting to push. I mean, Google could be another one of those plays,
Google
right?
Was a beast in the pre-market.
Yeah, it kind of now it's following the market pretty good, almost 1-to-1 right there. But yeah, so I'm going to get some more short on the TQs and just continue to watch this play.
Yeah, so I'll show you the orders on Nvidia while that was happening. So this was what Nvidia was doing when I was on the Coreweave chart. Like it just smashed down. I tried to chase it back in, but didn't pick it up. So I'm going to cancel those orders now because if it does get back into that 33, I will take a second shot at it. Coreweave, however, look at that. I just got filled at 05s on the 06s, then reloaded, and look at it just shoot. So this is like the thing. It's like Adair likes to say it's a spready stock. But the best way to put it is the liquidity relative to the volume isn't very high, right? So there's a ton of volume on Coreweave, but the liquidity is not tremendous. So I have a prior bar out that I'd give this one up to, because I think we're headed, like if it's going down, I think it's going down to the 100 to 102 level. So giving it to that 9.5, that's going to be around VWAP in here. It's actually above VWAP, 9.5 on Coreweave. I think that makes some sense. But with Nvidia finally going to the downside, I think we can get to that target. It's the only thing I have short. I'm still bidding. Bidding IBIT, but I'm not
monster,
sure.
Dude.
Yeah, I'm not sure about just sitting on the bid on IBIT. Like, that's too far down. I don't want to get like picked up when the market's panicking. So Coreweave's the only thing we have in there when I missed that Nvidia. It's back down under 106. I was able to get some in front of 108 and a 106 fill, but I want 102s. Like, that's where the bottom was after the bond auction mess. So that's where I think we're headed to said downside. Just one more name before we go back over to Sean. Snowflake, great report, all that good stuff.
Yes.
I'm slapping. You wanted 190 what?
199.50.
Yeah, yes.
Yes,
well,
I got that.
Well,
Phil.
You had to.
I got it, yeah.
56 is a high.
Yes, sir.
Just what I was going to say, like, the fail wasn't for Sean getting out of his position. The fail was that it pulled back right into the prior high, almost on a dime, and look at it rip. So you can only, I was looking at Coreweave and Nvidia, but Snowflake 100% gave you that, right? Pull back in the prior high, and now it's ripping. I'd probably be taking some profit near the top, but that's just me.
Yeah, so we took about $1 there on some Nvidia shares. It does go down as low as that dollar. We took 132, so we'll take 80 cents there, but now it's starting to come back up. We do want to get a little bit more short, but look what the market is doing. I mean, the market's not doing anything. It's pretty flat right into here, so we have to look for some other names that may be moving. You know a name that we haven't looked at in a while? Roblox. We can have a quick little look over there to see. Roblox. My plan is still the same, man. TQs, if you're watching me, I want to get some more at 68 and change. You want to get some more at 67. Yeah, nothing happening on Roblox, my bad. Just underneath VWAP and starting to go a little bit lower. I guess that's what that target was right there. So yeah, we're waiting in 4 minutes. We'll get our first look at Satya, I guess, as we do have the PMI coming, the double-barreled PMI coming out right now. What's going on with Tesla?
Tesla's just breaking the high. So yeah, Tesla's going here. So here's the Nasdaq. I always want to make sure if it's relatively strong, you can see it here. We're above VWAP, but a couple of red candles and rejection of the high on the Qs, and the ES basically the same thing. Meanwhile, Tesla's saying, yeah, we don't care. We're just going to go to the upside. So Tesla absolutely screaming. 340 is where I wanted to play the curl, but I think you let it get to 338 and then start looking for mean reversion play on Tesla. That's about the strongest thing I can see on my board right now. Unless you guys see anything else that's going ham, but this thing is going cray-cray to the upside. For sure. So this is a big one. 330 looks like it held pretty cleanly. I guess maybe you could look at that if you're long. Just in Coreweave right now, it's like we're only in chips in the market, but yeah, I kind of liked Apple. It was like the last thing on my list this morning for a short. What is Apple doing except nothing? Like, this is a 40, 50 cent range here on Apple. So I'll let it make a move and then try to react to that move because it's nowhere near resistance on Apple. But it's just hugging VWAP.
Well, yesterday's Google high was 173. We are likely getting there right now. Huge break of 172 right there. Google just hot fire right there to the upside as it just continues to rip, man. I mean, congratulations anybody on that Google front right now, as that is just rip city right now through 172, 173 next inbound for Google. And that was yesterday's high, right, was 173. So right into there. So you're going to look to see if there's a little bit of a pushback from that particular play. All right, we're reloaded. We have some more shares now over here. So let's wait to see what winds up happening now with our TQQs. We talked about getting some more in and around this level. So we've been averaged out. Now we just take some more back in. We just took a 35 fill down into the 20s now, down into the teens. So let's take a bid out now there. Good job there to take something out. Now we'll see if we get a little bit lower. There it is. Yes, sir. Wow. All right. This is actually starting to pan out quite nicely right here. Let's go market to the downside. Pardon the excitement, but if you are part of the team here, hit the like, hit the subscribe, because these are bangers right now. It's $1 right there. Probably $1, probably more than that on Coreweave. As Nvidia falling back in right now, man. This is going to be a good trade right there. We wrote down 132.50, man. So we're happy to have where we have right now. We did get a little stoppy there, but right there, okay, here we go. TQ's now making moves. Let's see if we get to the bottom of the day. 2 minutes away from Chicago PMI, but we'll just hold on to these two plays. Nice ones so far here today. Nvidia short $1.40 now, and TQ's just 25 cents.
That'll work, but as you said there, remember, it'll play, but 90 miles an hour right down the middle of the plate for the Jays bullpen does not play. But the shorts right now are playing. In 1 minute, we're going to get this number. We just had a hefty snapback in a couple of names. All right, so I'm going to pivot. If I can't get Nvidia 133, AMD VWAP, which is relatively weak, is going to be the play for me. With that number coming in here, the other thing that I have on my mind is if we get a hefty dip, Bitcoin has gone nowhere near the low and is trying to break out the high. So there might be a chance to play it off of this 60. I bit off of 63. Not sure exactly what price that works out to on Bitcoin, but suffice to say it'll be above 111. So I'm looking at this 63 level. If we do get any kind of a dip on the number, then this is where I want to try to pick it up. But I want to see like a wick bottom. I'll have a stop in underneath the 63 level, and just so we're locked and loaded, ready to go. But right now I'm favoring the shorts. But the Bitcoin's the only thing that we're pretty bullish on. I'm into AMD underneath VWAP. My stop is in above the volume weighted average price. Coreweave, it just broke 105, but it's having some trouble with the 105 level. I didn't get that reload back in the 8th, but we'll look to see if it gets to that 102. That's the target here for me on Coreweave. We're going to go up to Sateo for the first time and get a number.
Everybody, so we're getting those PMI numbers just now. So right now we have the US S&P service PMI flash 52.3, and then we also have the US S&P manufacturing PMI flash that is also 52.3, and then we also have the US S&P composite PMI flash that is 52.1. Back to you guys.
I don't know. I took a bite of it, but I stopped eating the plum for now. Yeah, okay, good. Thanks, Sateo, for all of that. It doesn't look like it moved the market too much.
Not really.
It tried to spike it a little bit, which is not good for our TQQ trade. But that number, just Neil was talking, kind of got away from me there a little bit. So I was going to tell you that I'm taking some out before that number. We were down to VWAP, so we just got a bunch out right there off of that most recent reload. So far, so good on that trade. And then we were doing the exact same thing on Nvidia just before that number came out. So, we can't control anything like that. So as those numbers come out, all we can really do is look and stare and wait to see what they came out as. And just a quick little, I don't even have them on Benzinga yet. So, when I see those, I can review them with you as well. But there's a nice downside push. We just get some more outs at some near O's there. And Nvidia trying to come back as well. So 52.1, sorry, is what it was right there. So services 52.3 and 52.1 came out there. So, all right, so now we'll wait to see what happens. Now Nvidia, let's see if we get a little bit of a lower bid now. I'm not bidding anything on any of these. I want to see if this market wants to really try to come in a bit. So we've already taken some out. Been a kind of a flat-ish morning right there. Is Robinhood taking out the highs, I want to know? No, it's not. It came close enough to doing that up there at 65, now starting to turn around. I don't really have an opinion right now. I mean, the market's doing this. I'm trying to get shorter in the market and hold on to the shorts. But for right now, nothing's really at any level.
The market's breaking VWAP right now.
Okay, good.
The Nasdaq's
going lower.
The Nasdaq's breaking VWAP right now. Like it's getting a little bit heavy. So nothing burger on the number. Let's see if we can get down to 21.12. At least test that. Okay, whatever. And we're right back. You just saw that whipsaw action. Like we're breaking down, things were getting heavy. Started to get a fill there on AMD near the low of the day under VWAP here, and then we started bouncing right back. There's a few names that are keeping us up here.
Futures aren't doing
Obviously,
anything.
no, but we've been bouncing off VWAP. Like we get under the volume weighted average price, and they buy it right back up on the Nasdaq. But there is strength, everybody. I know we're only looking shorts. Google wants 175 right quick. And remember, this is now above the 200 period moving average, and this is the last line before 185. Like this is a pretty hefty breakout on Google at 175. This was not part of the trading plan. So I don't take breaks that aren't part of my plan, but I will dip buy strong stocks if out of nowhere. It's not out of nowhere, but if they start setting up as the best looking thing out there. So if you can pull back VWAP or 173, I wouldn't mind joining it. But just what we're talking about that we're in, AMD's still under VWAP and looking good. Starting to question, like we're dancing underneath 105 on Coreweave. And the thing about this thing is when it does revert, and I learned that lesson yesterday because the two shorts that I had were mean reversion shorts, not trend following. When it broke a trend, this thing would go flying to the upside if it broke a trend. And I'll take that lesson and say if it gets back above the 105, I'm jumping out of this thing. Because I feel like it'll be at it could go $3 into VWAP. It climbs faster than it falls, this stock. And when it did it in the afternoon yesterday, I was like, look at that move down, and then quick snap up. It's explosive snaps when it breaks the trend. So I'm holding for 102. That's what we want to get. But if it breaks this trend, I'm now out at the 105 level and riding with AMD in a choppy-ish market, right? Like it is a pretty choppy market in here.
Yeah.
You could be looking at some of the earnings plays, like Urban Outfitters was doing absolutely nothing. Snowflake cannot seem to break the 200 level. Good out at 199.5. It just double topped that same level.
Oh, good.
It's right back down. So I think if you had that long play into the top, congratulations. I don't know how eager I'd be to rechase this move.
All right, yeah, UNH 303, a nice little break there as well of 300. So there goes UNH, nicely ticking higher, man. It was as low of there, obviously, as we talk about UNH all the time. A nice little low there of 291 in the pre. All right, man, I mean, I know we got excited there a little bit when Neil was like, oh, futures broke VWAP there, but it did, but then it broke it back up to the upside and now just wants to do nothing one more time. So, yeah, these futures are going to be a funny little beast today, that is for sure, it seems like. Just not doing anything. And now we don't have anything to look forward to either, except for market moves, right? There's no more news coming today or anything like that. Maybe we'll hear in our ear.
There's a Fed speak.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I was going to say. If we ever hear any Fed speak in our ear or anything like that, we'll make sure to report it. We've got Satya on the desk. So so far so good over there, and we'll get those reports. Look, I mean, what was it? HNGE. We're waiting for Hinge today. That's not out yet. We have MTN is the name of the company, right? So there it is right there. We're waiting for this to IPO. No luck yet over there. We said we'd look at Webull as a possible move higher today. And yes, sir, there it goes. Wow. Actually just randomly was talking about that because we looked at Robinhood and now it's up 3 and a bit percentage points as well. Okay, man. I mean, look, I'm still waiting for this 68.80. So as I sit here and wait for it, there's not much else ticking up for me. I don't know if you noticed Google. I mean, I'm glad I only sold what I sold. I mean, I'm not glad I sold anything of it, but there goes Google right there to 174. Oh my. Lions and Tigers and Bears. Oh my.
Oh my.
Right there. Huge move, man. Breaking the 200 period moving average and now starting to tick higher. Google saying what market not doing anything. We don't give a you know what about the market. Google up almost 4% right there today. As soon as it took that 173, that was a really stupid play by me not to go long. I mean, we were watching it as that was happening, and we talked about it in the pre. We talked about it as it was ramping up, and there it goes, man. That 173 long punch definitely missed opportunity for me there today. So, yeah, not feeling good about missing that one, but there it goes, upside as well. And just because I want to always give some shout-outs to our good friend, Mr. Mendel, we tried to short it at $10, and we got it, but we got out. We're actually up nothing on Fannie Mae today, but there's the drop down on Fannie Mae. I tried to go in and out there at 10. Should have held on to the short. I took like 3 pennies on it. So Fannie Mae, nice downside play there off the open. But hey, again, government needs more money. So maybe Fannie Mae is a play. Ooh, that rhymes. All right, so we're just going to wait for TQs to come back up, man. 68.85 with an out at 90. 69 is what I'm looking for right there on Fannie Mae. Let's go, on TQQs. Let's go 69.11s as an out, just in case that fills.
Yeah, and the things are headed back to the upside, which it's good that I got out of Coreweave, but we're not out of AMD yet. We will be in a couple of pennies. There we go. Now I'm out of AMD, but when this thing goes back to the upside, man, does it fly. So clearly, and I did it again, we made money on a short, and then the reversion play on Coreweave, it's like it takes you 10 minutes to get $3, and it takes you 2 minutes to get it to the other direction and then more. That's just what Coreweave is doing, but you know, you trade your setups as they are, and I've been looking for the short on this thing, so it is what it is. It's like 2 days in a row, you could make the same money long in half the time that you make it short in Coreweave, but it is what it is. I'm out of AMD once it broke that 112. We were able to get some out there near the low, but now you're really starting to pump to the upside. I'm looking over at Tesla, 340 is going to be in play. Wow, it's charging into that resistance.
Yeah,
Nvidia 134 is the other one I had. And a lot of people are asking what to do with Google. Like I never have trade setups for punch the high when you have all these green candles. No, if I think it's super strong and going to trend, I wait for the first pullback and try to engage where I can in that pullback. So I'm not trying to get that high. I'm looking 134 is where I like to short at Nvidia, and it's not there yet. It's not even breaking past this 33. And Tesla 340, that'll be another play for me. Apple also, but Apple can't break VWAP. So,
Whoa,
I mean, Apple
starting to go now.
Apple 203 is what I'm looking at. So none of these, that's not at any levels either. So I think Tesla and Nvidia are most likely to come first. Annie in the chat, I hope Pan W is moving up because you just said Pan W is moving. Own it in the long term, and I was disappointed their action after their earnings. If you're not up today, right now, like a stock isn't breaking out, like Apple, there's your relative weakness. This can't even break yesterday's lows.
Yeah, relative strength, obviously, with Google, relative weakness with Apple. That's good to look at that for sure.
We are, story.
Yep, exactly. We are loaded up now on Nvidia, guys. I mean, maybe a little silly, not silly, but we're short Nvidia and the market right here as we start to head a little northbound for sure. And Nvidia, you know, when it gets going, it gets going. So we're going to have to start to clap some out right now at these levels because we are a little bit nervous. That is for sure about what's happening right now as the market does tick a little bit higher. All right, so I'm going to take something out. Same kind of play there, whoopsies, as we get nervous about our TQQ position. So we'll put some out right here in and around, you know, 70s, 80s. See if we get something down in the 60s would be real nice as well. But just trying to hold on to some of these plays, right? So we're back into the short. We wrote down 69 for the TQs. We should have been a little more patient, and my average price maybe wouldn't be 70 right now, but that is what it is. So I'm just going to scalp some out because we're double-barreled short. If Nvidia doesn't want to go down, we just covered some in the 80s again, then yeah, the market probably does continue to go a little bit higher there. So I know you're waiting for 134. That's probably...
I just took the wick top now.
Okay, yeah. So hopefully then it works for both of us and we can get into this play. A few more lows would be nice though. I mean, if it keeps on hanging out up here, you're just one tick away. The problem is with Nvidia, like one story, one move, we know that people want to buy this name up. So, you know, you need to catch it on the way down. And right now, there is no down movement here for NVDA, it doesn't seem like. All right, so there goes the market, right back up, man. We got some good outs there in the low 80s, but who knows? Doesn't look like it was good enough as the market right here. Trying to hold highs, man, up 0.4. This is where we were in the pre-market, and this is where we are right now. So looks like we want to go higher, man. I'm trying the short. If it works, great, but that's what I'm sort of resting my head on right now. But short Nvidia right here at 132, 133.
Yeah, I'm looking for the VWAP trace here on Nvidia. I don't want to get too like greedy with it in here. Like you just
same.
There's the wick high. So the second when I said wick high, like there's one wick high above 133. The second it did it again, I'm like, let's short it back down and then look for the VWAP retracement, like a scalp trade kind of idea. You can hold on and then hold on to a little bit, maybe past the volume weighted average price in case it works. But if it makes a fresh high, like if it breaks that high of the day, you're jumping out of it. And it looks like it wants to right now. Tesla heading for that 340. There's just no red candle on the 3-minute in Alphabet. So this is going to require a lot of patience. If you're not already in it, you're probably just riding the trend. And the thing we actually thought might be a little bit stronger, doing more, IBIT.
Ooh.
It did bounce off that 63 level while we were trading AMD and Coreweave, but it didn't do much with it. So you've got a very distinct range here happening. And I'm just going to draw this for myself, is a very slight downward channel. But hey, for now, and it's like a very slight wedge forming. Probably not that big of a deal, but if it continues to do this wedge pattern for the next like 10, 15 minutes and it holds it, then I'd look for a breakout, ideally up because I'm favoring longs in IBIT.
All right, looks like we're going to get stopped out. I mean, the TQs is here. There it is. Okay, I was just going to say it looks like the TQs want to go. There it is, man. Oh, not a good stop right there, 69.20. So we got blasted up there on that stop, 69.20s. We are going to get 69.11s anyway, so not a great out for us there. And also Nvidia blasting higher. So congratulations, man. The long is definitely what's going on right now. Nice move higher right now. Tesla also blast City right now on Tesla, up 1.5%. Everything right now is going and going good. That is for sure. Look, yesterday we flipped up the TQs and just went long once we broke our level that we liked. Maybe that's what we need to do again right here on this market as we have now taken out those highs. I was looking short today. We could be wrong, and that's fine. But yeah, the long right now seems to be not wrong, and if anything, very, very right. Look, if China's not going to be a problem, and if this chips thing is just going to to be what it is, then yeah, Nvidia, look, we're doing good to get some out. That's for sure, but we will turn red on Nvidia and then obviously red on the Nasdaq there as well. So 0 for 2, sort of with the ideas were fine. Just we didn't like getting out here was good, but then once we started to break a little bit higher, well, I'm always going to try the 69 fill. So and not because the number, of course, but that was the level that we looked at right there from today. So you know, it did break above that. I think I don't want to like switch over to long because I'm not convinced completely yet. But another name, I guess, let's just check on Big Bear. That did not hit. Yeah, I was waiting at 350 there. That didn't hit yet. AMD, is AMD going as well as Nvidia?
It is, but not as well. So here's AMD. I got to get to 1 for 3, and it's like the one thing that's not breaking out is Coreweave. Like the strongest stock is the one that's not going. It's a little curious to me, but if it breaks this trend, I think it's just going to fly. That's how it rolls. AMD's not at the high yet, but I got out above the 112 level. So we 1 for 3 and flat today and just back to the drawing board. We do have existing home sales coming out in like 30 seconds or so.
Oh, my bad.
So, I mean, if you're trading, I don't think it's going to matter too much to most of the stuff you see us trading in here. Why does it still say I am not still short Nvidia? I just noticed that now, but I mean, come on, it broke out. There's my stop of the prior high, so I'm out of that stock. I'm sure it'll refresh. But in about 20 seconds, we'll get existing home sales. Probably doesn't matter to anything that we're looking at right now, but I'm sure it can be moving the market in some places. Snowflake, still a bit of a nothing burger in the middle. Jay Lee, you got out of your Coreweave short as well. Yeah, I think it makes sense because if the market keeps screaming, I do think at some point it probably heads to the upside as strong as it's been.
Yeah, Tesla is absolutely ripping.
Oh my God. We'll look at Rivian in a second, Randy.
Today, but thanks, Randy, for the reload right here. Yeah, I'm still trying to focus on making something happen here. But yeah, we could check out Rivian. Rivian went to 117 a couple of days ago. Okay, 4 million. We didn't even go to Satya there, guys. Existing home sales just came through there, so we'll get from her in a couple seconds. The market, though, continuously going higher right there. Rivian down to 16 again, but a nice little top there. Randy at 17. But it's Tesla today. Rivian's heading lower. Tesla today heading much higher.
340.
Nice move for there. Yeah, 330 or so open, up to 340 right now and ripping right there. So existing home sales minus 0.5 versus 5.9. So I guess home sales versus minus 5.9. So actually looks like a much better number. There it is, 0.5 versus minus 5.9. So I guess that's good, right? More homes being sold than they expected. So good job on that one, U.S. economy. But yeah, there it goes, man. Tesla.
For one, I'm surprised by that.
Yeah, we could check out. I mean, his Toll Brothers. I mean, this is, I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, well, that's yeah. It's real, Neil. Yeah, Toll Brothers not doing anything. So all right, you know, another name that's been beleaguered and beat up over the last 3 years or so. Intel right now back down to through $21 yesterday and caught a nice bottom there at $20.50. So we'll have to watch out to see if that's doing anything. I'm still watching that Fannie and Freddie. It's doing volume, but it's not really, for me, it hasn't been that tradable. I haven't looked at that too much. But the Nasdaq and Nvidia are what's ripping, man. Just to have been long those names instead of short would have been obviously, wow, 176.50 for Google. I might get in there and start selling some Google. I mean, I've already sold some. I might sell some more. This is a monster move upside there for Google. But I still have probably 2/3, maybe a little bit more. But wow, Google, huge move upside and still going. Unbelievable.
On the week, there's a head and shoulders area. It's 183 or something like that. So like, yeah, 180 to 183. If you look at a weekly chart of Google, looks like a big one. Look, for Tesla in here, at this point, well, like there were shortable entries at the pre-market high, but there's no shortable entry at 340 unless you want to stand in front of a freight train. I've drawn a trend line from this high, but really you could also just look at it like this. I think if we get a fail under $340, I'll be looking for this to close under that trend line there instead of standing in front of the moving freight train. You know, like it's at the level we want. Let it actually set up a trade at the level I want. So I'm going to hit save. I have this up on another level too. Go back very quickly to Coreweave. Okay, Coreweave's now starting to look a little bit stronger.
Leaving?
Yeah, it's putting in a higher low and trying to hold VWAP. This might not be the continuation short. This is not the continuation short that we are looking for at this point.
I'm still trying to look at these futures to see what we're doing. Again, if we look at a little bit of a longer time frame here, the 20-minute chart, you know, the Nasdaq's trying to get back going. There's a lot of overhead supply up here, like 71 to 72. That's going to take a minute to get through that. We're not necessarily there. Yeah, we're at 69.50. But I guess I should have looked at it the other way around, too. Like, there was a lot down here. But when the market broke earlier this morning, this is what I was thinking about, was a continuation move down. And that just fortunately didn't happen for us. So yeah, the TQ's right now off to the races. Palantir just topped out as well at 125. That top wick, not a huge volume profile there, or volume signature. It's my Joe's. I like to say volume profile, but I know that that's a study, so that's not what I'm referring to. But right there, 125 looked to be a little bit of a top. Nvidia 134 is here as well. I mean, that's a level that I know Neil was talking about, but I know obviously things have changed when the market's gotten pretty strong right here, right now. I think we just want to look long and rather play dips than try to short against any of these plays right now, right? But like, nothing's really lining up for breaking out. I mean, if we're going to do anything, maybe you dip buy strength into Google. Like, you know, it's been strong, so dip buy is what I'm saying. 175 just held perfectly. Wow. 175 held there, 175 held again. That's $1. So we could have made everything back just buying that one, but that's okay. We do not. Some of the quantum names could be going. I mean, you see Nvidia going. You see Google going. You see QBT. What the mother?
Son of a
gun. QBTS, man, saying no love
yeah, we
for
sold
the
some
shorts.
At 11.
Yeah, if we sold it at 11.
No, not all of it.
No, but I'm saying
another,
fine.
Another
but like,
10%.
That's what I was going to say.
All right, here
keep
comes
selling, then. It's nicely done to the upside there.
Just very quickly, here comes Tesla. We did take our shot. I wanted that setup, so I'd know what my entry plan was going to be, which was closing under the trend line, take the short at that bar. But if it breaks, this is one of those scenarios where if it breaks well above 340, I'll be out in between 340 and the high of the day, like just a little bit shy of the quarters, because I want, if it breaks back above the original trend line that got me the entry, then I want the liquidity from there to get me out. So we can put a wick in, be fine, and my first out, essentially, the longer trend line is my first out. That's going to be at the $0.50, 338 it works out to. And then the prior high, like, I feel as if it's so strong that you're just doing this pullback for the prior high into like 336.5 or 337. That's the entry plan. It's kind of in between two trend lines here, but I'm not going to let it get to the high of the day. That's Tesla. Nvidia, as you said, is at that 134 level. Tesla's at 340, Neil, and it just did that topping tail candle. It's like you do one thing at a time. It just tagged it. That's a good looking reversion candle. Like, I can do that, but it's already broken it. So if we're going to be in it, we should already be in it, and I'll try to chase it, but we're in Tesla right now. And I would make the assumption that Coreweave potentially is giving you a good move, but there was that channel turn here. There's your topping tail candle. There's the entry. It's not as clean in terms of giving you where the obvious out would be. So I just give it to not the high of the day, but that prior bar in here. Tesla must have just gone as well.
Yeah, we finally took QBTS breaking through 17. I don't know if it's going to work or not. We'll try it right there.
$17.
Right now, we were just looking at 1650. It's still going higher right now. I'm going to get out at 1689 if we break lower. Let's see how high this one wants to fly. Maybe it doesn't at all. But wow, Nvidia moving higher, everything moving higher. If there's anything you guys want us to look at, please, man, give it to us, because we're not struggling for names, but, you know, always looking for some more ideas. Apple, trying to take it out. I wrote down 203. I know Neil talked about that level as well, so we'll wait to see if 203 comes into play at all for Apple right now. All right, Mara, sure, good call there. Who is that in the chat? What's up, Miguel Pereira? How are you doing, my friend? Right there, let's go figure out what's going on with Mara. My phone's going crazy here with all these text messages. It must be about baseball or something. 17 and change. Okay, so Mara, yeah, great level there. Bitcoin not doing much. Maybe it's time to buy some BTC as we've been downside right now, trying to bounce off 11,000, and so does Mara. Great level. Pereira there in the chat. I mean, you might have found that one, 1575, looking pretty damn sweet to me as well. Okay, QBTS, okay, I see you. Let's see how high we can fly right now. A nice 30-cent winner or so on QBTS as we punch. Well, we don't, actually, that's a lie. We don't have 17 long. We have 17.10 long. Let me take something out here at 26. There it is. We'll take out 10% there at 26. 26, and see if QBTS can just continue to go a little bit higher right now. I actually have an offer at 39. I'm not even sure why we have one at 39. What was the highs in the yesterday? So we've got up to $18 yesterday. We got up as high as $18.50 yesterday. So is there room to run? Answer yes. But, you know, steam can come out of these names just as fast as they enter them, right? And so we'll take out 10% up there. That's pretty reasonable for me. You know, our stop is about 20 cents lower. So we'll take 20 cents, we'll wait for 20 cents and see where we get going. But the market trying to pull back a little bit, at least is Nvidia off of that 134 level. Oh, you're already in it.
Tesla didn't.
Okay, good. Go ahead.
Always start with the first one. Tesla broke the prior bar, so we're out. It did break the high, but I didn't wait for the high of the day to get out, nor will I do so on Nvidia. It's just a personal preference of mine when taking that type of a setup that I don't want it actually getting to that high of the day. When it's that strong, you just save yourself like half the move. It doesn't have to break the high. You get an entry where you can kind of cut your losses. It should work right away when you're doing a trend reversal. Nvidia immediately catching a bid in front of the opening range top there, 133.25, so you can see it in the book as well. I want this to be a VWAP retracement. That's the name of the game. Very quickly, Coreweave. We're right not to try this one again. It's now in breakout territory. 115 is another all-time, well, 114 here is another all-time high, but it got to $120 the overnight or the early morning. So if you're tracking this one, like $120, if it breaks 115 is like it's actually the next level in there on Coreweave. So watch out for that. Looks like it's absolutely screaming to the upside. IBIT, just one more here. We didn't get into IBIT, but that's a good looking entry.
Oh yeah.
There's your bottoming tail candle, and we're starting to trend back up off 63. It's like adjacent to 11,000, 111,000, not exactly, but it looks pretty good off of this base at the 63 level. So I'm going to take my first shot on IBIT in front of 63. It's like the second time I've mentioned 63, and I haven't taken the long on IBIT just yet. So we're going to buy some in here. I thought I got 10, so I got 11s. And we're going to give it to just underneath the 63 even level just for the first shot on IBIT. It's not going crazy, and I think the bigger opportunity is going to be when it breaks the trend. Like right now, it's still slightly lower highs being put in by IBIT. So the bigger chance is when it breaks the trend, then you can add into it. So just that and Nvidia, which is holding underneath the 134 level. Tesla round two.
What is Tesla doing? 339. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I was gonna say, well, not 350.
That's the back end.
Yeah, that was a nice. That was a nice.
This could be the back end of the trade, but I'm not gonna FOMO into it right here.
No. Okay, let's just stay patient with our trading here as we are getting a little bit of a pullback in the TQQs. So I was thinking about buying this name at $69 if that does come in. So a nice little downside push here for the market could get us long right now. So if that does happen, man, we are looking for basically the 50-period moving average is what we've talked about, 68.60. I'd hate for that to be where we wind up getting out. But look what just happened on the 5-minute chart. We just bounced off pretty good there off 68, 69.50 or so. So good movement there on the TQs to the upside and a good short. You just talked about that short on Tesla as well. 68.90 or so. Let's just wait for this to come back in. All right, man, we reloaded this one. A good little trade here for us on QBTS as we get right back into QBTS. Look at that reload down there. Oh my. We're showing you that we are capable of trading all kinds. And maybe I should only be trading some of these rippers right now as we'll go 0 for 2 on Nvidia and the TQs. But there goes Quantum. And again, join us every day, man. I mean, you didn't think we'd be trading this name at $17, but we are right now today. $15 open, 17 long. Let's go, QBTS. Wow, look at this runner right now, guys. Hit the like for this, man. Hit the subscribe. Let's go, man. 30-cent move there for Quantum as it gets you up to the upside right there, man. Nice move up into 1750 and change. We're out of half of it already because we got that sweet, sweet reload, man. So nice move higher right there. Green on the day, obviously, on QBTS. So I'm going to take another piece at 30. I don't know. We do want it to run up, but at the same time, we want to make sure that we are, taking profits where we do see fit, because yesterday, if we're going to zoom this out a little bit on QBTS, and again, thank you for being here, man. I mean, we'll look to trade everything. This little level right there, 1750, that was a good level yesterday morning, and then we broke it, and then we did this. So 1750, a good little out spot right here for QBTS. So we're going to wait to see what happens right now and put another offer near 1750. And then if we get that, great. IONQ getting some news here as well about
talking.
Yeah, so about it. Yeah. So look at IONQ today. Wow, woo-wee. Nice move there for IONQ.
Mitch called that one the leader. I was like, what makes it the leader? The only thing I know about IONQ differently, because I don't claim to know too much about the space. My family owns some shares in QBTS, but it's Martin Shkreli said that's the only one that didn't have zero value. So that's to me, like, I don't know, he's Pharma Boy, so what does he know about that? But I guess other people agree, because Mitch said it, and I'm assuming he did some research. It probably means that they have the most revenue, is my guess, because the others have essentially no revenue. 39,000 QBTS, I believe it was. So look, we're coming into the volume-weighted average price on Nvidia. So this is where it abjectly failed the first short. And so if the market's bullish and we're bouncing there, my rule is get out, look for another opportunity. So we're 1 for 2 on Nvidia, but we didn't short it at our level the first time, so that's a little bit of a fail. But the second one into that 134 was spot on. Tesla, I think that might have been a trap. Yeah, like I said, I'm not chasing that move. Look for a better setup on Tesla underneath the 340, an actual close underneath the bigger trend. Like the trend from the open is the one I should be tracking, and I shorted another one, which was forced action. So if we close underneath 340 here, you've broken the bigger trend line on Tesla. So good look over there in Nvidia, and I got to go back over to my friend Coreweave.
Oh yeah, Coreweave.
Didn't break the high after all. So Coreweave, it's not really setting up much of anything. Maybe AMD will be the opportunity here. Yeah, AMD's already broken its all morning trend and heading back underneath VWAP. I'll look for a pop and then fade back into 112.5. Let's see what happens. The market's trying to pull back, but we saw how strong it was early. I don't want to be rushing into any other shorts. We're able to be at least 2 for 2 going on the shorts there. But we'll be patient making our next move.
I want to check Snowflake. We sold some at 199, still 195, not doing too much. But if you ever entered an order where you're trying to buy or sell and the price you got filled, like that happened to me today, is it completely different from what you expected? Well, that is called slippage. And that can happen when you're trading on an old or underpowered computer, and it does wind up costing traders a bundle. So that's why our friends at Easy Trading Computers created the complete guide to trading computers. This guide shows you exactly what technology you need to succeed as a trader and how to avoid that slippage. Go ahead, make sure you do scan that QR code on your screen right now, and the link is also in the description to get a free copy of this guide. That's Easy Trading Computers. Look, no harm in checking that guide out. I mean, it's completely free. Scan that QR code there, check it out, just see what specs they're looking at. I mean, we have a lot of smart traders in the chat that have actually talked about this with us, what is required, what kind of computers they're trading on. Just scan that QR code right there on your screen and go find out what our good friends at Easy Trading Computers are all about. We want to thank them for sponsoring this segment. So yeah, go grab that, go check it out, Easy Trading Computers. So I was just like, you might have heard me like, oh man, no, but that's because we didn't get enough. Now we have it because it's down here to 69. I was waiting at 69.05 and it came back in. We missed it. It goes all the way to 69.20. I didn't miss it. We only got a small amount of shares because we were bidding 10s and then 5s. But now we have that little bit of a reload there on the TQQ. So let's see where we can go from here. We always take something out for 10 cents if we can get it. And then that most recent high again was in and around the 20s. So let's see how far we can fly now as we're back loaded in to the TQQs. Man, QBTS right back up to these highs again. But right now, man, my bread is being buttered over here with the Nasdaq. So well, I mean, this has been, honestly, man, this quantum, congratulations to Neil's family. But this is right now a huge move up. Bang, bang, and bang. Sharif, man, we're taking your energy, we're taking your style, and right there's quantum, QBTS, baby. We're loaded up, man. It's a 60-cent winner. We're trying to get a little bit more, but hey, when you're playing with size, this is a nice winner. So 65 cents right there on QBTS is what we're looking for. We said the high might be right here at 47, 48, 50. We looked at this yesterday. Let's see what winds up happening. More clearing out right now of our position on QBTS. We went short at 17. It broke it. We went long. Then we reloaded, and glad we had done that. So come on, Nasdaq, man. You're the next one to go to the high side, but it'd be nice if you went immediately.
Well, it's trying to go. The Nasdaq. I might have missed the look. I missed the punch on Tesla. I was just banging the table there, and it looks like that was the move. Like it just came right there underneath the 339. It just pushed into 338, but it's already back up. So you should be in and have scalped a piece out. Now, if it retests the high, you want it closer to 340 to have a tighter stop. So I'm just going to move. Yeah, I'm just going to move a little bit up. I'm still tracking IBIT. We took our first shot at this thing, and it couldn't hold to 63. It did another bottoming tail candle. At this point, I'm just going to go for the trend break. Like it's still kind of going. There's your lower set of lower highs. Have it close one and then break the next level up. So that'll be around VWAP here. If it's going to go ham, we've seen what can happen over there in IBIT. So let's just wait patiently for it. Yesterday, it did a very similar thing before going into the all-time highs. Like it was gliding down at the open, and the first pullback, like right here, you just saw it go down, hold, even make a lower high, and then sort of explode to the upside. And then any breaks you took were good. It didn't matter what break you took in the second half of the morning. They were all good, dip buys, all that kind of good stuff. Google, which I know I guess you're not in it.
No.
You mentioned the 175, that's what it was. 170, if it's dipping again, 175 or the volume weighted average price. Those are the only two places I'm looking for to join the alphabet party. We're going to be patient because the only ones that have worked today are when you've really picked your spots. Like Nvidia worked because we waited for the setup off 135 and then it was pretty clean. So I'll be the same level of patience if we're going to be able to pick up a Google long in here off of 175 even.
And then someone in the chat just said, what's up, Ozan? Right there. But I mean, sometimes you guys are like, oh man, Sean's always talking Mag 7 names. Well, this is your biggest trade of the day right here, QBTS for me. Huge move upside right there as we continue to climb. I'm going to get another piece out right now. Our best out was 70, we can talk about it, 75, 79, something like that. 74, was our best out. We'll take another 67 right there and then watch to see what winds up happening right now with QBTS. What's my boy doing over here? What up, Alex? All right, 124 right now for Palantir, up 3%. Nice move, man. Just bounced off VWAP again. Too obsessed a little bit with some of these other names, but that was a nice play right there. We only have a third left of our QBTS, so let's wait to see what happens there. But Palantir pulling back in as well as the futures. So some more outs right there on the futures, and we're watching out because here it comes in right now. We're going to get, that sucks, man. We're going to get stopped out at 68.80 if the futures and the TQs do wind up breaking. So a nice move back down in there now for the Nasdaq, trying to bounce off of 68.85 or so. That's that low right there. That's where the 50-period moving average is. We're going to get out if we do break that. So we'll try a little bit longer down here right now and then see if we do wind up holding that basement. But there it is, man. Thank you so much to Arsis FX. I'm here for you guys. We all are. In QBTS here too since a while back. Good job, Sean and Neil. Yeah, I mean, congratulations. Like I said, we're here to try to show you some trading opportunities, whether or not, they're on board or not, whatever. It's up to you guys to see how you trade them. But QBTS, we appreciate that as, that's why you want to watch get our watch list too, right? I mean, we often are talking about some of these plays every single day on that watch list. So, definitely check it out if you're looking for plays. Here comes QBTS fading out a little bit. Let's take advantage of this. See if we can get, the Qs just fell. NASDAQ just broke the 50 period, so we got out. Boo.
I'll get to Tesla in a second.
QBTS,
that NVTS, that's the other small capper, the one that's on the watch list with the Nvidia deal. Very, very clean trend line in there if you happen to be watching and looking for it to break. It's been trending down all morning long, but it's making a bit of a higher low and looking like it's going to break the trend. So I waited for the fills above 39 on Tesla. There's supply at 338.5. It looks like is trying to break, but we did get to 338 last time. Still looking to track to 337 or the volume weighted average price on that trade. Nvidia is not doing anything. AMD was the other one. Yeah, AMD's now down through VWAP. So yeah, AMD's usually, sometimes it's just a better short than Nvidia. I'll just leave it at that. I'm not in it, so it doesn't really matter at this point, but yeah, suffice to say it's a better short than Nvidia currently. Should be in that one. If we don't break this 338 on the next 3-minute bar, then I'll take something out at 338.5 on Nvidia or on Tesla for like 70 or 80 cents, but I'm looking for 338 evens here and then a play back into 337. But there are some buyers holding this one up. Oh, it's Apple is the one that Okay, Apple's under VWAP as well. So Apple, again, another easier short trade for sure, but we're not in it, so it doesn't matter. I thought maybe we'd be able to catch that at that pre-market high. But staring down the buyers that are trying to win it here at 338.5, they're doing a very good job of it. So maybe I do need to take some out there. I just got some at 65, I think, in there on Tesla. Now we're looking for the retracement back into 337. It's pretty strong, so you have to take what you can get here on the Tesla short. Nvidia, much better for the short end of VWAP. It didn't have a single green candle after it rejected. And look at that continue to fall. So I liked it to VWAP. I'm hoping Tesla can give me the same kind of mean reversion play and then move on to the next, everybody. Let's see what happens here, because the market, it's a good topping tail candle. I'm going to show you the ES instead of the Nasdaq for a second. That's a pretty good topping tail candle underneath those pre-market and overnight highs. But you haven't broken the upward trend yet. So yeah, you've got a reversal candle, but you've held the upward trend at least over in the ES and the Nasdaq for now.
Yeah, QBTS back up to highs as well. Thank God for QBTS, because this futures trade has been pushing me back, forth, and up and down again. We're back into the futures right now, but we've lost on this. Like, we were short, lost, long, lost, so hasn't been really doing too much. I'm still liking this 50-period moving average, so I'm going to go longer through $69 there, but we have to have the momentum back to the upside. So if that comes through, then we're going to be punching long on the TQs, and then we'll try to use, again, some of these similar levels to get out on, if at all possible. Nvidia's at that same level that we liked before, 132.80s. Where we shorted the first time, but we're going to wait to see if that gets going. I just want to make sure that my TQQ level is right, which it looks to be there. All right, guys, trade the pool. There's the QR code right there. Make sure you do scan that if you do have the opportunity to do it. Trade the pool is redefining what risk means for traders. No more risking your life savings. Hopefully you never do that to prove yourself in the market, unless you're buying Bitcoin, right, Sharif, guys? Then it's worth it. They give you access to company capital up to $200,000 to trade real stocks, not CFDs. And your downside is limited to your sign-up fee, which starts at just $47. That means no blowing up your PA. You get to trade with serious buying power, all while knowing where your loss is capped. So that's a great opportunity for all of us. All you have to do is pass that evaluation. That's it. You're funded. Scan that QR code and also get 10% off from Trader TV Live.
No cap.
So no cap on that, but the cap is 10% actually.
Yes, the cap is 10%,
yeah, so
but it's no
there is
cap.
a cap, but no cap on that one as well. All right, so we got into a really small piece here, so I don't want people to think like we're actually holding this. This is VWAP right here. If we break back down through VWAP on the TQQs, then that might just signal like, okay, kind of like a no moss situation right here, where, you know, if it breaks through, the market has fallen back in. I'm trying to wait and be a little bit more patient now, because we've played off of the lines that we believe in, but it really hasn't been like that. Short into 69 never really worked. We were trying to play off 69 as being the high there. That didn't play. And then we tried to go long with 69 again. That worked okay, but at the end of the day, it didn't work. So right now, we're just going to see what happens with VWAP. But the market is like, this is a tough way to trade the futures, you know, unless you really take that day break and then somehow you knew that was the top and you didn't hold it all the way back down. So right now we're trying to hold out for VWAP, so that's going to be pretty good. Again, a couple more outs up here right now in the 60s for QBTS. My out is a break of 17, as long as that's in there still. Yes, it is. So we'll wait for it. Hopefully it can start to work out a little bit more for us right there on QBTS. Welcome back, our good friend Bears versus Bulls, man. So I didn't have to ban Hammer yesterday. I didn't see anything. Ramin did not either.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, so all good.
We have a great community, everybody.
Yeah, our community's aight. Yeah, thank you to everybody for continuously coming back. What are we at today for viewer count right now? Normally we're at 11 or so thousand, 9,500, man. Get that like button going right here, right now. Here's what it looks like from my side of things right now. It looks like we only have, we have 1.2K. All right, that's not bad. Let's see if we get up to 1.5, man. If you're watching right now, 9,600 of you, if 1 out of every 10 of you hits that button, then we'll hit that goal of 2K. So please, man, hit that if you can. I hope you like what we've been doing so far. Trading the futures. Neil's been in a few different things as well. So yeah, so far so good. The trades haven't really, on my side, been too hot fire. We just have QBTS, really, which I'm going to take advantage advantage of that right now, coming back into the upside. And if you are, a small cap or some of these runner traders, you know what that's all about. You got to take advantage when you get back to some of those highs. But then I always think it's important to leave something on for that higher play right there. So we only have about a third left now of this quantum play. We told you we had about half. We just exited some of that right now on the way back up to the highs. So half of the position out. Sorry, we just got out of half of what we have. A third left on our initial 1710 or 1707 long right there. Okay, now the futures are starting to climb back up a little bit. Good dip buy opportunity. Let's take advantage of that. It's only an opportunity. It's only money when you take it out. So right there, we'll take some more out on TQQs. Now 30 cents in the money. See? Like the break trades haven't been working good, but sometimes if you wait and you play off some of these magical lines, they do make a little bit of sense. We're still trying to go long, though, on a 69 break. Maybe the momentum can carry us through on the Nasdaq.
Magic lines are key. But the other line is, if it's super strong, don't wait for it to break the high of the day. So Tesla, we're able to get some out of Tesla, but those buyers at the 338 half, they won. Once it's back above 340, I'm out of it. Like, I'm not waiting for that high. Like, it's got to work, and it's got to work right away. Just for a quick, we're going to get to Google in a quick little second, but NVTS. We'll probably mispronounce the name of the company. So we'll just go NVTS. Navitas, I think it's called.
Goodness.
Just broke the trend line to the upside. Now, there's Tesla breaking that high, but I'm out $1 ago. Alphabet pulled back into 175 and then broke a slight trend. If you make this a 1 minute instead of a 3 minute, it broke the trend. Now, I do still like VWAP, and I always like VWAP better, but I said if it came into 175, we take a shot. And then NVTS broke this trend line from the morning here. If it can hold above 460, I think it's an add into VWAP and then a play into $5. $5, as you can see here, a brick wall, $5 for most of the pre-market. I think that's one worth watching. And just one. Now on, every time a short is an exit on Coreweave, I should just reverse it long. It's like for 2 days in a row. Like, I'm 3 for 3 on my last 3 shorts, and all 3 of those longs were either faster or better or went further. Like, it's just every single time there's an exit, you're like, oh, the buyers are in here, time to get out of your short. You should just be punching long in Coreweave, but I'm not chasing it up here. It can't seem to break out that 115 top, but if the market keeps going, remember, it got to 120 in the aftermarket in the early morning today. So it's got some room out and above, right? Consolidation in Google's not really doing much right now. I'm sitting in here at like the mid 30s. I want it to get to that 176. That'd be a good target, so let's get an offer out in front of that. If it starts making higher lows, that would be a reason to add, but the initial entry bounce off 75. It's not really trending back up just yet, so we'll leave it at the 1 salvo for now. Tesla, good thing we got away from that. It's continuing to go. And what else do you guys want us to look at here? I mean, Tony's saying Tesla, hold my battery. Okay,
that's kind of funny.
I mean, it's saying, okay, I can't say that. It's saying, shorts, you're in trouble. I was going to say something else. And yeah, it's not nice to the shorts. How about that?
Yeah, it's definitely not nice to the shorts today. Not nice to any shorts on the market unless you shorted about 10, 20 minutes ago. At that high, there it is, man. A nice little trade there. We're making some money back there on the TQs, man. Buying VWAP, getting out at 69. I mean, no matter how you look at that, that's 40 cents, right? All the way to the upside right there. But still, looking to get a bigger play. And I think a break there of 69 may trigger that. So let's wait to see if the futures want to do it right now. I mean, I'm not hearing any news or anything in our ear. If Satya sees anything, she'll come with us as well. But right now, not too much. We just missed that. Gas just came up, but we don't normally cover that. 120 versus 118. So if you want to look at a UNG to see if that's moving around a little bit, it came out as expected. So it's kind of a nothing burger there on UNG. You can see not much happening. 120 barrels versus 118 estimate, 110 prior. So kind of as expected there on the gas, not gas. All right, QBTS back up to the highs again. It just keeps on dipping back into 1740. I'm just going to let this thing roll right now just because. I mean, let's wait to see if it wants to get higher. IBIT, great bottom there at 63. Maybe that's a trade as well. If that can come in as, Bitcoin's trying to go, but it really hasn't been the story today. All right, there goes QBTS right now is an absolute runner. I was going to look at eBay, but forget about that. There it is, man. Let's take another piece out right there. Let's get out some 91s, guys. Yes, sir. Bang, bang, bang. The banger on the day for me right there. Hey, man, we're $1 in the money on a $17 name. So let's see what happens now at 18. I'm going to put another piece out right here at 96. Hopefully, we didn't get it. But yeah, again, good trade. Always want to have more shares, but we've done pretty well on this trade right now today, as QBTS really holding fort for me as we continue to go a little bit higher on that play. I still want to get into Nvidia. I still want to do all this kind of stuff.
Nvidia's doing literally nothing.
Yeah,
I'm glad we got away
from
from
the market,
that.
man. The market's fading back out again. A great short there at 69. I'm waiting for the breaker long, but that was a good little retest right there for us. So yeah, man, QBTS is a good name for me today.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. You've got to be able to find,
good.
the market's actually heading right back in here. I was about to say Nvidia's not doing anything, but it just held a lower high. It's a potential head and shoulders setup, although not very clean because it's like it's got shoulders, but then that's not extended. This could still end up being short, but for now, I'll wait for 134 where it's set up before. NVTS or whatever it is. NVTS, after breaking trend, it's working into VWAP and then the $5 level. Like, that's the plan of action. Like, I'm actually going to be on the offers out in front. $5 when you zoom out. Well, you don't have to zoom out very far. Had resistance in the aftermarket there at that price. And then if you go to the daily chart,
is right back again.
we can all see $5 is a pretty gigantic level on NVTS.
What's happening?
Like, it breaks above $5, then I think that's a separate trade. So it's a monster level. I'm playing this only into $5, everybody. And then from there, we'll see what it can do. That always happens. I zoom out too far, and then it catches up later. All right, so that's going. We'd like to see a VWAP break, be able to get the $5 level. But here's Google. It got to 176 and immediately starts its stance back down. I'll reload it one more time in front of 175, hopefully with a better price. But the market's starting to come back in here. I do want to still go back to some of the things I liked short, because if we lose VWAP in the market, we could head right back to those lows. Bad news yesterday, and AMD, despite Nvidia climbing higher, AMD can't seem to break VWAP. It's a weaker stock. It never broke out any of the highs. It's underneath the first place we bounced yesterday after the bond auction. So to me, this is a better shorting opportunity than Nvidia. So I'm more likely to short this off the highs or short this under VWAP if the market starts breaking down. So long NVTS, long Google, and glad we're away from Tesla. That's now 342. And I'm going to pivot to liking AMD over Nvidia at these current levels. Well, not at these current levels, at that, I guess, opening range high.
Yeah, we just got messed up again there on our TQ trade. Like, we got punched in, then punched out almost immediately on that, as it took 69 and then it just fell down 20 cents. So, in the vein of trying to, not just hold on to everything all the time, we got stopped out again as it just came right back into that level and punched me out. I was just like, I didn't want to sit here if it wasn't going to go, so we got out, but I'm still in it, long at 93 now. Our stop out was 80 break. We punched long, we took 20 cents worth of risk, it failed, came right back in, so now we're back, not caught, but we're back long right now. Oh, JP Morgan and Jamie Dimon right now talking apparently some China. So
wow,
it's not doing anything. Just willing to still cultivate the Chinese market. Blah blah blah. So okay, I'm just a little bit upset that we don't have our full load on for TQs. But look what just happened again. It just broke back above 69 and then missed again. So. Ooh, a court decision there that has to. Trump has to reinstate education workers laid off there, I guess, by Doge or something. So we'll wait to see where that happens right now. Shouldn't matter too much to the market. All right, Neil, what's on your mind?
Well, what's on our mind is that you can get the first month free over at eSignal, because if you're trying to find the trend, join the trend, find the hot stocks, what's moving, what's not, cultivate yourself a watch list, find that QBTS is moving. Maybe find out what's going on over in crypto land or in currencies. Everything is available to you with eSignal. It's highly customizable, reliable data. If the market's open, your data is pretty much good every single time. You can back test, forward test, try out indicators, see how they work for you in real time. It's everything you need in one place. It's highly customizable and very intuitive for you to use. So it's all about everything in one place. It's an all-in-one platform. You can link up to a vast number of brokers to trade through the eSignal platform. So scan that QR code, get your first month free with eSignal. And I have this monthly chart up as Google because it's gorgeous, but not the long just now. I don't think that would matter. Well, sorry, the headline that we just had. I don't think that would matter too much to the markets.
Oh God, Google, yeah.
But like we were curling back to the upside. I just reloaded in front of 75, and it's right back down. So I got to wait for VWAP. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate as to why we would reverse off of that headline with the Department of Education, but I suppose reporting any kind of executive order maybe is going to be seen as weakness because it's more turmoil and less certainty. But either way, we just lost the 75, so I did that little trend break. It couldn't get past the 176 even area. I'm still in that NVTS. It's a small capper that probably doesn't care. And obviously, as we're doing that, I did not get shorted VWAP on AMD. It held pretty much exactly at the volume weighted average price in that 112. This is where we were short before, and now it's looking a heck of a lot better. We'll see if we can't get picked back up in this. I do now prefer this at the current area if we can get VWAP to Nvidia, which I look over at Nvidia, and
everything's cranking.
No, you could have, like Nvidia's at VWAP and trying to bounce. Like, here's the difference. It's at VWAP and trying to bounce. AMD is absolutely flushing. What is Coreweave doing?
They're all flushing.
Coreweave is not doing anything. Still holding some of the highs. It does have this going on here, though. There's your trend on Coreweave. I've only taken trend breaks on Coreweave with the exception of this fail at VWAP at the open. I'll see if we can take another one here on a clean trend break with Coreweave. Let's see what's going on in some sectors that aren't tech with Satea and our Sector Watch.
What is up, everybody? Welcome. So today we are looking at the communication services, significantly high today. Google up 3.95%. Wow. And Meta 0.72%. So looking green on the sector. Pretty bearish sectors we're looking at is the healthcare section. So Eli Lilly down 1.12%. J&J down 0.64%. ABBV down 0.23%. And the list goes on. And then also a consumer defensive is also looking pretty bearish as well, with Walmart at 0.35% down, as well as Costco 0.82% down. So pretty bearish on the day. And what else are we looking at? We are also looking at the financial sector. Pretty red throughout all of the financials. We're looking at Visa, MA, AXP. Visa down 0.20%, MA down 0.26%, as well as AXP down it is up 0.11%, but COF down 0.05%. Back to you.
Satea, good job on that for sure. Okay, like I'm starting to get real frustrated now because every single position I seem to get in doesn't want to work. But look at Google right here at VWAP. You know, that could be a nice looker right here for sure. It's amazing that we had that QBTS still. Thankfully, that name was saver for us. There's Brendan, you know, hard at work over there. Thanks, guys, for that. Is Brendan now getting ready to cover everything up? That's Obi's trading station right there. So yeah, that wall almost gonzino right there, very soon. Yeah, Obi, if you're remoting in, man, your computer at risk.
If it turns off suddenly, Obi, I'll just
easy trading computers. Go check those guys out if you want to know more about that. But yeah, thanks, Brendo. Getting ready to rock and roll. As you can see, man, Studio 8 is live and kicking right now as that project. Nothing's going to stop that project at all, and nothing hopefully will stop the Nasdaq right now as we're starting to get back up to the upside. Yahoo! We finally make a decent decision right there and buy off of VWAP again. Stop punching. Like, we keep on punching the longs and then we get punching them out. So we don't need to keep on doing that, right? So let's just stay humble here and just wait to see what this Nasdaq wants to do and not try to predict like it's breaking out because it hasn't really given that sort of signature yet to do that, right? It kept on trying. And what I mean by signature is like it didn't break through the 69 and hold. Like, it kept on coming up and coming back down. So if anything, this is a bearish where's my bear? If anything, this is a bearish signal right now on the TQs. So I'm going to get a little bit more out here as we get up. I'm offering 90s now. I'd hate to miss that. Hopefully we get it 1 penny away from that. Hopefully we will. Big Bear AI. I mean, this is a good stock for us the last couple days. You know, I wrote down 350 for a long. It gets as low as 366, then makes its move up to 4, and now stopping on a dime. Did I get those 90s or not? No, I did not. Okay, so I'm going to have to offer some out right here. I just have too many shares. I don't have too many, but I have enough to do this where I'm scalping it out and not feeling bad about it. So nice recovery there on the TQQs. We need this thing to go like $1 to make back what we need, but maybe that happens. So we'll wait to see if that does come through now. Again, sans any news, right? Like we don't really have anything right now bumping the market. So maybe something will hit at some point that gets this going. All right, now we're back at that breakout level here on the TQQs. We basically had 4 figures. Now we have 3 figures on this. So let's wait to see what winds up happening now with the TQs. And on that note, I'm actually going to take another piece out right here because it just looks like it rejected again up there at $69. So boo you, TQQ. Let's see where we go, but hopefully a little bit higher because that's frustrating, man. That's back-to-back times we make those outs there and does not continue higher. So. Let's keep going, man. Trump tweeted the bill passed. I don't know. I'm not hearing anything like that, but we already know that. So
we knew that was.
Yeah. Okay. Look at that, man. What a disgrace, man.
Apple, not Apple.
Nasdaq.
Google just lost VWAP, so
Yeah.
you know it's always it's better. It got into that AMD, but it's always better if the markets go up. So it tries to hold 175. It tries to hold the volume weighted average price. Just wanted to show you guys because you'll see I was in it and lost VWAP. Now we're going to be out of it. I was able to pick up.
What a bad day.
Oh, come on, AMD. You gotta be kidding me, man. Did not get. Yeah, we wanted one more fill here at 82. I got some on the way up at 70s. Get on the bid. Got some here on the bill. There we go. I got some in at the 70s. It wicked VWAP. We got the 90 fill. I'm like, look, it just rejected VWAP, punch short to get more. So AMD's continuing to hold to the downside right now. It's just one of those things. Like for every win, there's a loss, and
I don't know what your ratio is like, man, but for every loss I have, for every one win, I have like 5 losses here.
But like, here's what's crazy. Like, what doesn't make any sense to me, and this is like, the first short that worked the best for me was Coreweave, and now that the market's coming down, it's like the one stock that won't go down. Like, what the heck is wrong with this thing? It defies all logic. I was staring this down, looking for that trend break when AMD happened, and might be part of the reason we missed it. This wants to break out the high. So I guess we're patiently waiting again for another setup on Coreweave. They're really good when they happen because like Coreweave will give you like a few bucks pretty quickly. But yeah, it's not one you want to fight in an upward trend. You just can't do it. And when you got to let it break the trend, and it's pretty good when it breaks the trend. Sometimes you might, like that was never a big trend break. That's a trend break there. You can draw a trend line if you want. That one probably bamboozled you, but you could have scalped some for a win. That was a big trend break. Another one happened at the 108 level. The more I look at this, the more you look at this, shoot. Prior day high, resistance to support to run to the top. Well, that's in hindsight, though. So, it's what it is.
Yeah, guys. We'll see. Go ahead. No, I was going to say, I'm just telling the truth to everybody.
I'm reloading on VWAP on AMD, and I'm going to try to keep it in the pocket. Right? Like the idea being, right now, I'm going to be in like scalp mode inside of ranges because there's a lot of look at the stock. Like AMD has not broken the afternoon range in either direction.
Oh, now.
So until something happens proving otherwise, like why would you try to be more fancy than that? Coreweave, I'm not going to trade it till it breaks that trend action. So, to be able to keep things in the pocket, I don't want to lose yesterday's day or have like losses that are bigger than yesterday because yesterday was a much better trending kind of day than so far this morning. So always make sure that you're relatively just fit your own trading plan in terms of risk to reward. I don't want to speak for anybody else in here. But for me, it means not fighting anything past our key levels. And what was that? I just saw GameStop. Of course. So GameStop just broke 30. I heard it in my ear. No idea why. If there's any news here, it's up 7%. That's a delayed reaction to Bitcoin being strong because they've been buying Bitcoin. Because this was it wasn't really doing much, but $30, I am probably at some point going to pay for locates there on GME, but not right now. Because we just got Nvidia off that little weird head and shoulders thing. So again, just like AMD, playing it to VWAP. No more, no less, scalp trade because the market has not got a defined direction yet.
All right. I mean, there goes, like I was saying, man, very tough day. I see in the chat as well for a lot of you. So, you know, welcome to the club right there. We're not doing that bad. Like I said, we're trading 3 names, 1 for 3. But the big hit, obviously, is going to be me just getting back and forth with TQQ. But on that note, we're regrouping, right? Like, it just made a move up there. We've already seen it fail 69 a bunch of times. I'm almost just waiting for this to break lower right now. So I'm not going to reload this. It's given us a problem. We just got out on the way up there, more shares. So yeah, just trying to like say, you know what? We could be wrong, and as Neil says, stay in the pocket right there. So regardless, though, man, if you're putting on trades and they're losing, that pocket gets a little tighter as you go. So here goes the TQs. If it breaks 68.50, we're just going to be gone, and then we can always look at something else because it's just bouncing off VWAP right now, right? So I want to give it just a couple pennies below that. Hopefully, we can bounce through. But, you know, in talking about staying in the pocket, we get a little bit out of the comfort zone there and really hammer this this QBTS there and just got the reload, right? So now we'll wait to see. It's trying to break through $18 right now. That would be nice if that winds up happening for us on that. So, all right, IonQ. Yeah, IonQ is great. That's for sure. That's been the talk of the town here today. I mean, QBTS is also a pretty nice trade, but IonQ right there, obviously a $35 name. So, you know, we're $1 in the money on a $17 name. So this name, though, is double the price, but up $6. So yeah, that would have been a little bit of a better break there than the QBTS, but we take what we take. 34.50 right there for QBTS, or sorry, for IonQ, a great break. All right, guys, you know, like I keep saying, like we're making money back, which has been great, but we still got to get out when this comes back up to the upside. So there goes the TQQs. Let's get some more out there. We just took a 79. Like, this is the problem with me. I can't just sit there and stare at QBTS because I have too much else involved all the time there. So, you know, the next play for me would have been maybe a Google, but that already broke through VWAP. I know Neil was on that one, and there's the move down in for Google. IBIT looks like it wants to break. It just broke 11,000 there on the. I can't believe it's almost 10:50 right now. Like, that is wild. Only 10 minutes until the midday show. Yeah, so all right, some more outs there on the TQs. Pretty happy with being able to get some out. Remember, we're long at 61s. We just keep taking out some 80s. So, you know, I'm talking all negatively and stuff, but at the same time, I'm only disappointed that we haven't ripped the top yet. But this trade has been fine, right? Out 30 pennies, or out, sorry, 20 pennies, risking 10, worth it, but not enough. We want to get a little bit more. So yeah, man, GME is mooning. But all right, let's go back and hear what Neil has to say.
Yeah, GME is definitely mooning to the upside. I don't know the odds of GME continuing to fly higher here, but if you're looking for
GME. Wow,
we'll get to that quickly. I did pay for locates on GME, and I'm not saying it's going to flush, but if you look at the history here, whoops, where's my daily chart? There we go. If you look at the history of it, above the $30 level has been a fade zone. On the daily chart, you can see it is pretty much as clear as day. The last couple of times we've tested 30, there was a move to 32. It's failed it. So for a whopping total of 3 cents per 100 shares, at real trading, you can short this stock. I don't know what it is at other brokers. I can just tell you how good it is, how cheap it is for us. I shouldn't say good, because we'll see what happens. It's such a strong upward trend that it's not going to necessarily be a trend break for me. Ideally, it does set one up, but like, that doesn't look very appealing for a trend break. I'll see if it makes a better trend on this higher upside. But if you are looking for unbeatable odds, then the place to go is ProfitX, everybody. Because if you switch to ProfitX's peer-to-peer platform, you're going to get to set the price. It's not one-size-fits-all bets on all the lines. You get better odds, and you craft your own picking strategy. You got real-time trading tools. Bid, ask. We did it with the OKC, actually, tonight. Got a great level yesterday, took out half the book, and now we're sitting pretty. Secure those best odds and track the action and watch your plays come alive. Experience total control at every step. ProfitX is sports playing reimagined. Use the code TraderTV to get the sign-up offer of 2% cash back up to $300. Scan the QR code out in front of you. And, of course, be responsible, everybody. Just a quick recap. I was just talking about GameStop. Well, there was that scalp in a VWAP on Nvidia. Like, play it to the prior resistance, look at it, hold VWAP, just get out. But that's what's happening in the market right now. Like, you're getting step by step, essentially, maybe even trending back into the upside. And the same thing with AMD. I'm playing that in the other direction, shorting VWAP to the low. So, well, not playing the other direction, I'm playing off of the other direction in the volume weighted average price. As you said, Bitcoin's starting to go, but I do have to go back over to Tesla. Because we got away from Tesla, because look at it go, super strong. But where is Tesla right now? Do you remember we're buying that 343, 342 area the last couple of days with support until the afternoon? It just triple topped up here on the 15-minute at that same prior support level. So that's a setup for me. It also, I'm going to get rid of my trend lines in there. And just to keep it simple, throw the trend, which clearly has now set here. Like it's a longer trend line into obvious resistance.
Whoa.
That's the setup play that I'm looking for. So outside of VWAP here on AMD, here's your trend break on Tesla. And as always, close under the trend line, play it to the volume weighted average price, and the first support would be about 340.5.
I like that, as always. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? Stick with your plan, man, and get going. As Neil was talking there, we did have a great break of QBTS, but then again, stopped. So we got some 1805s right there on QBTS before it completely stopped at the bottom there. It looks like the futures are going to take this as we get ready to leave you guys. So we are still long here. Oops, that's not the futures. That's still QBTS. This is the futures right here. So we're long again, 58. So just took another bid just to see. Maybe if we just keep scalping it out. I mean, it's a 10-cent worth of a hit. Let's see if we can get back into some of those levels. It doesn't look like it as we're trying to push a little. There it goes. It's going to break. So VWAP now coming into play here. If it doesn't break, I'm so surprised at that one. But nothing would surprise me anyways these days as this market's been, there it goes, has been a tough one. But there's the break down below now. So I'd almost think about like going short now on the TQQs or on the market in general. But again, you know, making like big decisions like that hasn't necessarily worked out fantastically for us there today. It's better been waiting for levels. Like we waited for VWAP and take advantage. Like the only time it broke was now. So we've been buying this dip since for a half hour right there and taking advantage of those plays. The only time we messed up was when we kept on breaking back and forth and around. So, okay, that's what that is. I did want to check out, first of all, we have to do this because we needed to figure out what's for lunch. I mean, that's the first thing. And then I'm going to go into another trade. But what's for lunch today? It's a very, very simple one. It's the best lunch, possibly. It's the most standard lunch. No matter which country you're in, you're going to get these kind of lunches. It's just sandwiches. It's a variety of sandwiches, which often will come with Montreal smoked meat, sometimes can come with tuna, egg salad, turkey, ham, BLTs, things like that. My wife crushed
egg salad?
A BLT. It doesn't say anything. It just says sandwiches. With crudité, which we figured out a while ago was, again, some veggies with some dip. So we'll look for that as well. And then it looks like side cookies. Well, that's interesting. That's what's for lunch. Yeah, we'll take it.
No one's that interested in the cookies.
Nah, no one's that interested in the cookies, are they? All right, so there we go right now. Yesterday, what a big day for money time in the company yesterday. Someone in Canada took down 40 grand. So that's a nice day there for somebody here. Congratulations to somebody who made $40,000 US on the TSX yesterday. That's a big number, man. So congratulations to someone trading Canadian markets yesterday. Amex Nasdaq there yesterday, 22 grand. Someone in, wow, what a different day today it is for the market. This was yesterday again, of course. Amex and Nasdaq, then Hong Kong. Someone in Hong Kong dropping 12.5 Gs. These are all US dollars, regardless of the exchange. TSX and then the venture exchange as well. So again, you know, real trading spurned here in Canada. We have a lot of traders that are in Canada, so these Canadian markets often get looked at. And then just here, probably SPY or some closing trades on the Amex. GLD moving around, GDX moving around right there. But Amex. Oh. Marijuana, they just approved Trump's pick there for DEA, but it's uncertain right now what that will mean to Mary Jane. So MSOS right there, you know, not moving around. We'll look at that for sure.
That's my joint.
Again, there, yeah, that's a good joint.
So, it's
TQ's downside as well.
My go-to karaoke song. Shout out to Rick James. The problem The problem with trend breaks is like if you're waiting for a trend break to happen, the problem is when it happens, sometimes everyone else that's long is like getting out at the same time. And so like you get a flush like this on Tesla. I left the orders in there. We didn't get picked up. Obviously, that's going to head to the downside. And it's already pretty much at volume at VWAP or halfway to VWAP. So we missed that opportunity in there. And again, that's the thing. Like if you were trading it as a resistance level, then you'd already be in. If you're trading it as a resistance like here on AMD, then you'd be in the trade because you're playing it in front of the number instead of the trend break. But I didn't chase it. This should be out in front of 111.40 on AMD. So that's holding under VWAP. So hopefully the market, if it goes lower, I think we tag this bottom and then break to the low of the day. But I did miss that Tesla trade, unfortunately. And then on a more sour note, I just paid for the locates 2 on GameStop and didn't get that one short either. So yeah, kind of a missed opportunity with GameStop. Like you saw on the daily chart, every time it gets above 30 in the last few months, it just flushes. So it did it again into the volume weighted average price. Let's go back to Satea.
Hello, everybody. So we have been down since last Monday off of the local highs of 101.95. So as we can see right here, this was Monday, May 12th. Of 2025. So we can see here that we've been pretty bearish since then. But one thing to note is we are approaching that $100 psychological level. So we can possibly see a possible change in trend structure. So just be aware of that. I'm looking at the 200 EMA around that $100 level and 24 cents. So that as a possible trend change in trend structure. But just be aware of the overall picture. We have been bearish since the start of the year. So if we look dating back from January, the height was $110.18, and we have been bearish since then. So just be aware of that. But again, the pivotal level, looking at that 200 EMA level around that 183, 125 level. Back to you.
Thanks.
Something just hit.
Satea there. Yeah, no. So, okay. I mean, you know, like I'm like, oh, well, you know, I'm not going to jump at these cues at all. I'm just going to wait for it to come right back up. And then what? Okay. So some good outs there. And then we shorted VWAP and we shorted the 50 period again against the 69. But I don't know. This market is just, honestly, man, it's starting to give me some nervous feelings here because it's just bouncing back and forth. It has not been a very good move to trade the futures today. I feel like we haven't really gotten I mean, if you guys are positive, put it there, man. So in the chat, but I don't know. I'm not going to be positive here today. But you know, the Qs make that move higher. I'm going to wait to see what happens right into around here. But like, this is the problem. The market goes up, comes back in. You think, okay, will VWAP hold? No, it doesn't. Will VWAP hold short? No, it doesn't. Does the high, break through? No, it doesn't. But there it is right now. We make a huge move higher right now. Mississauga, the guy in our chat just said. The guy has no idea. But apparently there's something about ABV right here. I've never heard GTA mentioned in my ear from Ben Zinga, but something going on with University of Toronto there.
I've also never heard Mississauga pronounced that way in my entire life. I've never heard that.
Agua right there. But okay, nice move down. Hopefully for the futures is what I'm looking for right now. And by the way, man, I know there hasn't been many winners today, that's for sure, but QBTS right now for me, big one right there, starting to go. So again, we'll be 1 for 3, but the big hitters are definitely here on the TQs, man. For me, like hitters on the negative side, waiting to see if it can be a big hitter short. Doesn't look like it as we get right back to the top, man. Q's definitely screwing me up today, as someone said in the chat. Yeah, look, I laugh about it because this is trading life, but no, it hasn't been good. As soon as you think you've got a trade on, it's kind of like, nope, we want to go the other way. But that is, that's trading. And, I'm not just going to sit here and try to push keys for you. I'm going to try to actually make a little bit of money. And today has been Oppo day, as the Qs have just sort of been, it's already 11:01. What the hell, man? I got to go to the gym.
Yeah, I was going to, just very quick, I'll give you a quick update. I was only in one thing left, and that was AMD. We had our stop above 112. It was working to the short side. And then all of a sudden, we're breaking out. So I backed off it. The last thing I'll leave you with, I know we're going to go over to the midday. Nvidia. Let me just cancel that. Nvidia is now holding the volume weighted average price, and we're starting to trend up. So I'm going to look to play off of that long support. Instead of shorting into VWAP, just respect the fact that we're heading back into the upside. Well, I said last thing, but it's not actually, it's not the last thing. IBIT is still very much, I took one stab at it,
No end
but
end?
it's still very much holding this downward trend. So until we can close above the trend and break out the consolidation above, it's one thing to close above, it's another thing to hold above and then break out a high. Once that happens, I'm into a long. I'd like to see how delicious these cookies are we're going to have with lunchtime, because they are really good, and they're not as good as apple pie in the general sense, but there's nothing wrong with having cookies for dessert. And I'm sure Joe will agree with me. And you guys can ask him what he thinks of that, the reference.
Sure, he likes cookies.
Do you like cookies, or does he prefer apple pie?
Well,
the midday guys have got it for
I wonder
you.
what that answer is going to be.
Remember, there are a couple of IPOs today as well coming out. A couple of smaller ones. I'm sure they'll cover that as well.
No, I'm trying to get out of here,
Back
man.
at 2 o'clock. Let's send it on to the Bash Brothers.
Ciao.
Yes, yes.